So, Division 2 games, going to be some pretty solid gameplay. I'm excited. I was watching, who did we do this morning? It was, I believe, Div 4 or 5. Who was it this morning with Gamer? Uh, where are we? I deleted all my, I got, like, probably a year or two ago, I got rid of all my Discords for Age of Empires, because I just wasn't playing it at the time. And so I lost my little tab of AoE, Discord channels or Discord servers all in the same groups. Now they're all over the place, and I'm just like, oh. Dude, what was earlier today? Calendar. Today was Sniper Hunt Division 3. Okay, so we should have some good plays. We should have some good time. That will be exciting. I always enjoy. Don't get me wrong. I like casting. I mean, as T90 said, I love casting the lower divisions and lower players. But deep down, I'm a sicko for good good AoE. It's any AoE is going to be good. The higher level stuff is definitely gets to be fun, because that's when you can like really kind of lay into people for being like, oh, this player should have known better. This player made a slight mistake here, and that cost him the game. And it's like, they're good enough that they should be better about that, and that's kind of where the differences are made. Whereas at lower levels, it's like, okay, bad things are going to happen, and it's whoever can handle it the best. So, what's up, Crazy Joe? How are we doing today? Okay, I think Cambridge has... Is it Cambridge? Cambridge. Yeah. Hey, what's up, Griffin? Good luck to both Otter and Cambridge. Yeah. Or Cambridge. I think we're just waiting for them to start the draft. And now, after a little bit of discussion earlier in the week, I have a little bit better idea of what a good civ is versus a bad civ. We had some fun discussions in the tier lists, about tier lists and stuff. Though there's some discrepancies over who exactly, if somebody was trolling or not. While we wait for this to start, I guess I can pull it up. Where's Season 6 chat? Here we go. I know Otter sent his tier list that he made with Pilar and Zayu. So this is what we made, only... I suppose that's 11 people voted, so that's not too bad, but this is kind of what we ended up with. There are some clear, like, either trolls or misunderstandings, because, like, Kelt's got a D, right? Like, but someone was pointing out that maybe people would think green is the top level. So this is a nice little tool tip for me to just be able to help roughly understand who's good where. That's how Aztecs got all over the place. So that's interesting. Move Jordan's to S now, but that's just for you. Well, you could have voted. But yeah, no, it's where are Georgians? That's this one? Let's see. Starting. I just realized I'm an idiot. Oh no, he's starting that. Okay, never mind. Alright. Winning rate is also good after the buff this season. That's fair. What buff was it? I just started again, so I don't even know what the buffs or the metas and stuff were. So we Cambridge starting with Shoals and Otter going Immersion. We're gonna get some water. They like their water maps apparently. Or at least hybrid maps. I don't know if I'd technically call I'm more of a classic RMer who is like, there's a bunch of land there. It's a hybrid map. I know in DM it's kind of like if there's any water, it's a water map. Fez ban. What is Otter gonna ban? Aftermath. Okay. I do want to see. Ooh, Sunburn. Okay, cool. I haven't seen Sunburn yet. That's the one of the few maps I haven't seen. Georgians have a 72 win rate. That's crazy. I wonder if it's just because they're not like they're one of those like second tier civs that never get banned. But since all the like top tier civs get banned, they just have like a really good by default win rate from that. I'm so excited for Sunburn. I have not. I don't even know what this map is, so I haven't even looked at the maps besides the ones we've seen. Hyper Random, always love Hyper Random. Hate playing it. Absolutely detest playing on it. Unless it's a friend, like a fun, friendly game with friends. Serengeti, I'm not a fan of Serengeti. It's just worse Arabia in my mind. Yo, Maxi, thank you for the follow, my friend. Waiting on... Okay, Runestones. That's a little bit disappointing. Outcrop, okay. I like Runestones. It's the Arabia for DM. That's my understanding of it. And Outcrop. Outcrop's a solid map. It is Gold Pit, except split it down the middle and reverse it. So we got our water maps, we got a new map, and we got a hybrid. I always call it a hybrid map because it was usually water. So I'm excited for this map pool. This is gonna be a fun one. Civ times. Let's go for the Civ drafts. All right, play the game before they start. Celts, do they get admin banned or not? Play the gambles. Do Celts get admin banned? Or actually, here, which of these top 6 civs from our chart get admin banned? I'm gonna guess 3 of them. What? The cat just jolted awake. All right, Franks, Turks, Churchins. There's 1. Italians, Catalans, way. Teutons. Aztecs, okay. Malians, no Malian rush. Goths, no Goth rush. We saw Goth rush earlier. Inca. These are a lot of low tier. Okay, there's the Slavs. Saracens. Alright, so we got 3. And Chinese. Oh, the Chinese band. That's crazy. Still a couple... I mean, assume Celts and... Celts and... Who are the other ones? Celts and Mongols, I assume, would be the blind picks. Unless there's some favoritism somewhere. Oh, they have to do bands first. Yeah. Right. I forget the order of things. Georgians and Koreans could also be banned. Yeah. I would be surprised. Like, I'm expecting some water bans. They probably, like... I could see them leaving, like, Celts or SOs, because I think both of these players are going to be confident in their... Yeah, or just ban the Celts right away. Don't want to deal with the really good... If somebody has really good SO micro. And Otter's been grinding games lately to practice, so... He wants to finish his league strong. Which he's unfortunately learning the difficulties of adminning and playing at the same time. It's funny in Smash Bros. Since I helped TO a bunch of stuff. They came out with like an ELO rating for all time and stuff, and I'm like 34% win percentage. Not because I wouldn't have that win percentage, but because at least half of those are just me DQing myself to help run brackets because they needed somebody emergency to help run a bracket. So Cumans and Magyars, interesting bands. The Magyars make sense. Persians make sense. Cumans, like, they're good. I don't know. Cumans seem like they wouldn't be an immediate ban. Sicilians make sense. I still have only seen 1 game they played, and it wasn't even that intense of a game. It was a little bit of a stomp earlier. Koreans, there you go. Yeah, like you said, Koreans banned. Yeah, I think the map pool is very Korean favored right now. So it makes sense to kind of ban them, or they're gonna get banned. Yeah. What are the other top Mongols are still around of the top? Georgians, Slavs, Celts, Magyar. Yeah, so Magyars to get banned. Bulgarians. I feel like that's a interesting. That's because they're not even playing Acre, right? Like, Bulgarians are really good on Acre with the immediate castles for the unique units. So, all right, Otter. I do wonder how much, like, granted, this isn't the highest stakes league or tournament or anything like that, but I do wonder how much, because especially the DM community is relative, and there's the Mongols. Is that all 6 top tier civs? I think that's all 6 top tier civs got banned. I do wonder how much, like, so obviously because all the DM players, like, a lot of these DM players probably know each other somewhat decently. In other games, a lot of times it's like you scout out your opponent. You might know their tendencies. At top level AOE is probably the same, where it's like you know what they prefer. Like, oh, it's Hera. Okay, it's gonna be Hussar spam. Like he's probably gonna lean towards Hussar spam when push comes to shove. Sir, I need the space, my friend. You can't put your foot there. Okay, so blind picks. I don't really know who to even go for blind picks. Like, oh, Bengalis, definitely. Yeah, there's gonna be Bengali pick. I just didn't realize that Bengalis are not. Yeah, Bengalis, Spanish, and Huns. Huns over Bengali. Okay, so we might see a Hun rush. Classic. I do like my Hun games. Berbers. Makes sense. Another very good civ. Let me double check to see if Lucky responded. I don't think he has. Oh, he has. Maybe not. No, I don't think he has. That's fine. Cool. Otter taking his time with these picks. And there's the Georgians. So there's that high win rate you were saying. So Georgians didn't get banned, and Otter's going to take advantage of it. Right now, my problem also is I don't know the DM matchups, so to speak. So it's like, oh, sometimes somebody can win the draft because, you know, their draft counters the other draft a little bit more. And I do not have that experience currently. Gujaras, interesting. Is there any water maps? Yes. Yes, we can, while they're picking, we can look at this. We got 2.5 water maps, and then Outcrop and Sunburn. Yo, Boomstick, thank you for the follow, my friend. So it is, they both picked water right away. So we have some waters, and I always believe that Hyper Random will generate some sort of water. So 2.5 water maps, and then inverted gold pit, and Sunburn, which I have no idea what Sunburn is. I have not seen it. I can look at the minimap and kind of assume it's something with Michi, except they have their TCs in the middle. So I'm excited to see that one. I don't know what that one's going to look like. But Gujaras, Ethiopians. Okay. I mean, Ethiopians, from what I've heard, are good on paper with torsion engines, but in practice, they're not really there. So, oh, my Twitch thing is off. Sunburn is in TC and middle, very close to each other. Yeah, I mean, you can kind of discern that from the minimap. It's just like I haven't seen it played. I haven't seen like if it's just like always over in 2 minutes, like in the early rush is all that matters. Tatars I've seen a lot of. Yeah, so it'll be interesting. It's I think the one map in the map pool because I don't actually, do they show the full map pool? Yeah. I've seen one Fez game that was very quick. Yeah, so Sunburn's the only one that I haven't actually seen any game on, and I suppose Fez. But otherwise, like Runestones and Serengeti, I don't like having both of those because I feel like Serengeti is just Arabia, which Runestones is the equivalent. Burmese is an interesting one. I don't think I've seen Burmese this entire league that I've been watching. Granted, I haven't been watching very long, but Hindus and who's the last one? So I'm not seeing any. I mean, maybe there are some like decent water maps here, like Spanish or something, but like nothing here screams water to me. Arena equals Arabia with walls. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. On DM levels, like I think Arena might be even. Actually, no. Arena is the you don't get the early rush, which is fair. Byzantines, okay, there's a good water civ. I know they're a good water civ, and Vietnamese, Hindus, okay. Spanish, yeah, double. All right, no mirrors here, no mirror matches. Hold on a sec. Why is my Twitch chat just hiding on the screen? Okay, Turks is banned. Yeah, all the top tier civs got banned. I mean, I suppose Turks aren't a top tier civ, but I think they've had a very high pick rate when available. So probably very high play rate. So cool. I'll bring that over so we don't spoil anything. So first map is going to be Outcrop. So, you know, land map, a little bit of far distance. What are we feeling for our matches? What do people think? Or our civs? I can see it being a camel war. I don't think Bohemians would be the play. I think you want to save them for what's the other land map? Was Sunburn. Actually, you can see Bohemians being here. This is like the only traditional map I feel like, whereas Sunburn feels like it's very like Outcrop is the closest Arabia map, which is like or like the closest to a standard map in my mind. So I feel like if you have a good standard civ, like you're not going to see Huns, I don't think. Um, you're not going to see probably not Ethiopians. I could see Hindustanis, unless you want to save them for a hybrid water map. I don't think it's very hilly, so Tatars maybe not. Predictions: Georgians versus Vietnamese. That I can see that. The like Vietnamese have elephant. I mean, because I'm gonna expect on Sunburn there to be an elephant rush. That's my guess. That's my prediction. Just a wild prediction. Um, but that's also based on very little knowledge, right? So I think they're working on getting the game set up. And Otter has messaged me. Only draft so far. Yep. There's the room code, which I'm just gonna wait for. Where's my chat? Here we go. So we're just waiting on the match to start. I think Otter has the room open. We're just waiting for c3mbrich to just join. So yeah, Georgians versus Vietnamese, not a bad idea. Let me just get this and pull up just to remind myself a little bit of what the Georgians do. So mule cart. They do get They have the similar Tatar inverse Tatar bonus. Mounted regenerates, so plenty of time for the rush. Fortified churches. Hi. You gonna jump up here and be annoying as always? Yeah. Fortifications +2 attack. Watchtower line. No watchtowers. Mountain units take up. Oh right, they have the cav that are really good. That's their key thing. That's what makes them so insane is that they get more units. My cat's being a gremlin a little bit. There you are. Hi. You want to join me on my lap? You want to just stand there awkwardly? Yeah, you can join me. Yeah, if you can't stand there, either on my lap or off to the side. One of the two, my friend. Come on. There we go. Yeah, right on the lap. There we go. Stop squirming. And nope, off the lap. He never. And now he's gonna come back and try to figure out what he wants to do. Come on. Just you can't stand right there. Come on. No, you don't want to. Okay, you're gonna sit right there, just awkwardly right next to me. There you go. Yeah, that's fine. You can be right there. Sorry, my co-caster is the gremlin who can't make up his mind. Ow, sir. Sir, what are you gonna do? Where are you going? Either on my lap or off to the side of my desk. You have two options. That is not the option of standing right there. Welcome, co-caster. Ace. Yeah, his name's Ace. He was a rescue, and he doesn't like blankets, even though I have, which is probably one of the reasons he doesn't like sitting on my lap half the time, is he doesn't like being on laps, but... Alright. You can sit right there. Yes, right here. Right here. He's good. Except now I can barely move my hand. I can move my wrist, which is all that matters. So right now we are waiting. Okay, c3mbrich has joined. Once they start, we'll go in. Let me just remind myself, because like Vietnamese, I always just forget that they're like more than just an anti-archer civ. Because they've definitely gotten their own, like, they're still really good at anti-archer, but they actually have their own identity now. Because like 3 years ago, it was like, oh, you pick Vietnamese as a counter map, or a counter civ, purely like, to counter archers in RM. So, Otter has 3 good civs with Sunburn. You like Otter draft more? Yeah, I assume Sunburn is a very rush heavy game. You don't do it's not probably not very often late. Vietnamese identity is scout plus one fill forward to lame. I mean, it might be because don't the Vietnamese do they get like a? Yes, that's right. They get the town centers. That's their bonus. And they get fire. I mean, I suppose yeah, all those civs get fire lances now. All right, so still waiting on the game to start, but whew. All right. Any predictions for what the score is going to be? Who's going to win? What are people feeling? Actually, don't know if I have the current. Okay, the game started, so let's pull it up, and we'll see who the game is. I don't have alternate scenes right now because I don't have hotkeys. So you're just gonna have to deal with me. Alright, Tatar's Vietnamese. Exciting. So Vietnamese was correct, but Tatars is gonna be the play. The hills will matter. And it'll be interesting. This should auto update, I believe, right? We'll see. I always forget. But yeah, so Tatars, hill bonus. Cav archers, I believe, are really good. We can take a real quick peek. Just refresh my memory. Yeah, livestock, blah, blah. Higher elevation bonus. Yeah, the silk armor being huge. And trebuchets have the extra range. So that's pretty nice. So it's probably going to be Cav Archer war. Cav Archers versus like, archers, right? Switch there. Also flaming camels for elephants. I feel like those are still a meme, but also I've been told that maybe that's actually reasonable for Deathmatch specifically. So I'm interested to see that. What? Out of sync detected. Oh god. Capture age. Oh. Alright. Let me just make sure everything's set up. c3mbrich, Otter 1. Vietnamese, tier 2. Yep. Alright, cool. After a slight mistake. Alright, welcome to Tarnished Deathmatch. Season 6. In the red for Division 2 is c3mbrich playing the Vietnamese. And in the yellow is the Tatars player, the Otter 1. One of the admins of the tournament. And they're starting out. We got, back up a little bit. We got archers, and why am I getting desyncs? What's happening? This isn't good. Is my game messed up or something? Let me try relaunching Age of Empires. I'm sorry, guys. Wait. After Age. I have not seen this happen. I don't know if this is like a common issue that I know when in doubt to play it on the players, but like the live game is still going. So they're definitely playing. So I can't ask Otter like what the hell. It's okay. So that's up. We'll try going through the browser one more time. I might have to go directly through the game. Download the files. All right, let's take 2. Let's hope this one works. In the red, c3mbrich. And in the yellow, Otter one. Otter one starting with archer range and castles. And we see stables and barracks coming out from c3mbrich. Looks like it's working now. So I guess we just had to restart the game. Let's see if... Oh, villagers might be able to get a villager pick here. And Otter does find a villager kill. That's huge, huge start. Always getting 1 villager kill at the start gives you such a nice advantage. Just this extra time it takes to build the production buildings helps a lot. So now we see camels versus early cav. So, I mean, it's kind of obviously Otter favored. But they're going to run past each other. And we also see some heavy cav archers. So it's going to be camel and cav archers with the castle coming in for the Tatars. Probably get some camel archers. And Cavs are trying to draw some of them away and are going to get sniped by the camel. So I don't think there's going to be any damage found by c3mbrich. And instead, I think c3mbrich is going to start pulling them back. And there's the Elephantos. So elephants coming forward. Camels will, you know, eventually beat the elephants. But it is a lot of meat shields from those folks. And we have some cav archers trying to pick a few villagers. And there was another villager picked by Otter. So Otter getting a little bit of value. Might even get a 3rd one. Yep, gets a 3rd villager, so very nice start from Otter. Needs to make sure to have an answer to these elephants, though. As the cav archers kind of start trying to harass on the left side, does delay this castle, almost gets another villager pick. That villager is super weak, and gonna lose a couple cav archers, but Otter buying some time, getting that little early eco advantage, really benefiting, having a much better start. And now the elephants are kind of pulled back, can't be used to pressure, and Otter gonna lose a few units here for free, which is not the smartest thing to do, but it's not the worst. We actually see Otter already expanding up on the top side, getting ready to try to take over that top half of the map. But a lot of elephants starting to spread out with some halberdiers support. And, yeah, both players, I think, going to go for the slower economic route and kind of build up their forces. We see some flaming camels. So this is going to be the answer to the elephants, is the banelings. Camels going to engage on a few elephants. That many camels versus just a few elephants definitely favors the camels. And, I mean, I think even with slightly better, like with all the halberdiers, that it's going to be cleaned up by Otter. And we actually even see here, we missed it a little bit, but a lot of elephants do go down, and the camels stand strong. We do see a TC trying to come up here for c3mbrich, but the villagers are going to find a few camels on patrol down here. c3mbrich is sending an escort of elephants to help deal with this, but at least this is going to give Otter some clue as to where c3mbrich wants to expand to. Now, does that camel find a pick? No, he's going to start attacking the foundation, but at least that will tell Otter. And the fight kind of starts doing a little bit of skirmishing in the middle, both players trying to kind of mass up their forces. And Camel's going to get some good engagements. Now, I kind of wish I had some alt trees on, but Camels, there's some explosions. You can see, even with the camels, I think the elephants are going to win this one. But here come the cav archers. They're going to start raining some arrows down on the elephants. And the elephants continue to try to harass this expansion, but with the castle up and the camels, I don't think there's going to be much being done. And this Keshik's not... Why did I think it was camel archers? That's the wrong civ. So... And now we see some siege coming from Otter, trying to land some shots, take out some of that HP, but they're getting found out by the elephants. And a couple go down. The elephant might even take them more. No. Okay. Otter trying to secure an expansion on the south side as well, but the elephants there will get cleaned up by these camels, and I think Otter will be able to expand that. But there's another force of elephants coming in. In the meantime, big fight here, trying to deny that castle. Villagers do get walled out. Very smart from Otter. I think a few are going down. And c3mbrich getting some good villager kills, but at this point, it's not quite as important. Though c3mbrich's villager economy, really well done. Up to 50 vills, has a lot of TCs at home. Otter, not quite as many TCs. But Otter having the military advantage, and I think just a slightly more established economy on the top side. trying to get this economy on this left part of the top, but that's a huge army by Otter, over 30 military higher. And there's not much that c3mbrich can really deal with. The Ratans are going to be chased away. And they are going to be pretty good about the dealing with the cav archers, but with the siege there backing them up, it's going to be very tough. And the siege kind of left exposed here, but c3mbrich not pouncing on it. Now sending the elephants over to deal with it. And the caval's trying to come and save those units, and they do. Does lose a onager. There's another one that goes down. And yeah, the onager's kind of out of place, kind of just throwing them away, and this TC still hasn't gone up. So unfortunately, this expansion on the south side hasn't really borne any fruit for Otter one. And yeah, once again, just the onager micro is not where it needs to be, kind of letting them exposed for the elephants. There's a big force in the middle, two big armies about to clash. Keshik's kind of running away. Camel's going to try to get some shots and take out a lot of HP, and that's quite a bit of elephants taken down. And these elephants are a bit overexposed. Halberdiers now trying to get in the mix, and this Keshik's going to run past and take out these trebs, and then going to go fight at the, try to land on the bombard cannons. And unfortunately, not a lot of micro, and they go down. The bombard cannons taking them out. All the halberdiers really chewing through them as well. And that's a lot of meat shield lost for Otter one. Bomber cannon is now posing a problem for Otter one. We'll see how the bombards are dealt with, and the cav archers are going to come in forward and try to snipe them as those bomber cannons and a little bit forward and exposed. You want the Ratans to be right in front so that the cav archers can't really try to snipe them. Yeah, that's a lot of bomber cannons. They're going to pressure forward and just need to make sure not to leave them exposed. In the meantime, expansion on the left side is starting to expand for c3mbrich, but that expansion on the top side, very nice from Otter. A lot of gold income will be coming through shortly. And has established that TC in the bottom half. That is a big, big wrecking ball coming through the middle. And Otter has a nice army of his own. And he's going to send them forward. And those Keshiks are going to land against those Ratans. And the Halberdiers are a little bit out of position. So those Keshiks are going to be able to melt some of those Ratans first. And the elephants go down. But the Keshiks all get cleaned up. And there's not a lot of meat shield once again for Otter. And the castle goes down. Once these Halberdiers do get cleaned up, it's going to be cav archers versus Ratans and bombard cannons. And that's not going to be a very good position for Otter one. As some elephants go and raid on the top side. There's a few units here and castles that should be able to deal with that eventually. But the fight in the middle is what matters, and Otter's kind of losing this. Only cav archers aren't going to be able to deal with Ratans and bombard cannons. Slowly losing his force and has to pull back. Those bombard cannons continuing to wreak havoc. And there's an onager shot in the middle, kind of misses it. That's unfortunate. Yeah, the onager micro, I think, has just been a problem for Otter. It's just not the best, and he's lost so many of them early on, just from, like, leaving one just randomly away from the army. If he'd had, you know, 5 more onagers during some of those fights, I think he could have taken them. Now, both players have solid ecos. c3mbrich is starting to get a queue up, has 10 elephants in the queue, well, pop maxed. And has the really expensive bomber cannons, whereas we haven't seen any. Now we see hussars from Otter one. So hussars are going to be a good switch for meat shield. Needs to get some more farms going. But at least, hopefully, those can deal with the Ratans. But yeah, it's not looking great, and we actually even see a push on this left side. c3mbrich going on the top side as well, and really pressuring well. And this expansion goes down. I don't think Otter's gonna have much more. He doesn't have much to deal with the force in the middle, and he's losing his expansion to the top side, and this kind of spells some doom for Otter. c3mbrich starting to build up a nice queue in the back. Has the monks, probably has the relic counts. So Otter's been kind of pinned at home this entire time. We see the expansion on the south side even getting more and more populated here by c3mbrich, and just a very well put together game so far. And yeah, another castle goes down, production building is starting to weaken, another onager goes down, does take out a bunch of the Ratan archers, but yeah, Otter continuing to be pushed back in the middle, and with the constant pressure on the top side, Otter's losing a lot of economy, has very few villagers working over here. And this can get cleaned up. Trebs roll forward, and with the pressure on the top side and in the middle. I don't know. I mean, we're going to see last rather here with Keshiks trying to snipe these bomber cannons, give Otter maybe some sort of relief. But with all the castles down, even if the bomber cannons go down, it's just there's nothing to push back against these elephants, these Ratans. One bomber cannon stays alive. That's all. Two of them. That's going to be able to take out these buildings, and the elephants coming in will help pressure that as well. Some camels are going to be exploded for the fans. We even see the small expansion on the south side is being pressured. The villagers have to evacuate, and that's going to be 5 on gold left. I mean, Otter has stabilized the top side, but how much? And you see all these villagers just completely decimating these gold reserves, taking all the gold for himself. c3mbrich still pop-capped. Otter struggling to get back up there, and just taking out these production buildings over and over and over again. Eh. c3mbrich apologizes for something. Not too sure what. Maybe at the decimation. But completely destroying all these productions, and Otter has to tap out and calls GG. Well done, both players. c3mbrich definitely getting the win there. And I'm pretty sure the next game has already started because we had that difficulty. No, it's in lobby. Okay, so we do have a little bit of time to talk about that. But c3mbrich taking game number 1. Yeah, I mean, I think it was just a early advantage from c3mbrich that kind of snowballed. Otter got that top side really well, but just couldn't really benefit too much from that. And then the combination of military was just so tough for Otter to deal with. I think also just losing some of those onagers in offhand places just for nothing really is kind of where Otter let his chance kind of slip away. Because if he had, 5 onagers during that big fight in the middle, I think, where was it? Probably recent. Yeah, it was right around here. If he had the onager, like 3 or 4 onagers here, maybe it was even a minute or two before. Yeah, in this fight, a couple onager shots, this fight goes completely different, right? You land 1 onager shot here, 1 or 2 onager shots, take out half of, or at least force the Ratans back. It's a completely different fight. So, I think just losing those here and there is kind of where Otter let that slip away from him. c3mbrich definitely got the economy rolling, got the max pop-out, cap-out, and pushed with Siege. So, well done from c3mbrich. And let's take a look at the next one. Where are we here? All right, so that was Vietnamese win and the Tatars' death. All right, so next map, that was Outcrop. Next map is going to be, oh, that's Outcrop again. What? Oh, they haven't changed the map. We'll see, but that was a good, okay, so are they remaking it? There we are. Okay, yeah, they made it with the wrong map. Okay, so the next map is going to be Immersion. So we're going to get our water map. Otter's first pick. Immersion. No Turks, so probably not going to see any Turk galleons. Spanish are also banned. So kind of the water hybrid map. I can see Byzantines here. Shoals wasn't. Was Shoals picked? Shoals was picked, so we could see Byzantines there as well with their fires. And then the other side. Actually, I don't know if there's any good water civs here. Like, nothing stands out as, like, a good water civ, right? Like, I'm sure there's, maybe the Berbers. Because, like, I'm thinking of, like, they might be decent at ships with 10 faster. Okay, Berbers have that bonus. Gujars or Bengalis can be picked for shoals as well. Bengalis, naval. Okay, so navals do, oh yeah, okay, so I'm just, well, that's over there, right? Yeah. Gujars or Bengalis. Hindustanis, do they have any good naval bonuses? Gunpowder, I mean, I guess their cannon galleons can be better. Yeah, I just don't see the, like, insane water civ on c3mbrich's draft. That's maybe my lack of knowledge, but that's kind of where I'm feeling, so. Oh. Main menu. All right, it's going to be Gujaras and Huns on immersion. All right, let me touch up real quick on Gujaras. Cavalry camel, fishing ships can garrison the docks. That's super helpful. So I don't think they have any like outstanding naval thing, and Huns don't have any outstanding naval. So it's gonna be a pretty neutral water advantage, right? Like unless there's something I'm not understanding. Neither civ outstanding on the lakes. Hopefully this one works well or works and doesn't require me to restart my game. All right, game number 2 after taking the 1-0 victory. Let's turn off the timeline. In the red, we have c3mbrich playing the Huns. His opponent in the yellow, hoping to come back from an 0-1 deficit, is Otter 1 playing the Gujaras. Check for shipwright tech. Shipwright, heavy demo, and treadmill crane. Yeah, that is true. That is what determines a good water civ or not. Otter immediately sending a Vil forward to get on docks, whereas looks like c3mbrich is going to go very hard into the Hun rush and just try to win off of that. And the camel, busy attacking the foundations, could have gotten a villager pick, but the Cavalier is going to come over here and take that out. So it looks like c3mbrich has no intention of challenging for water right at the start. And Otter's going to play heavy water right at the start, get a dock up, get a second one, get those cannon galleons going right away, and just keep any water control away. So once the cannon galleon gets slapped on in the middle of the lake, we're not going to see a very good time from... I mean, they're going to go forward even and just start pressuring some of these foundations, because I don't know if they'll reach, but Otter's thinking twice about it. And, okay, they're on patrol. They're going to land some shots here. They're just going to need to make sure not get picked off, because those are just a unit you don't want to just throw away. They're expensive. Yeah, the cannon galleon's going to be rally pointed into the middle. And it's going to be very hard for them to pressure this dock, or to get onto this water and help try to fight for water control. So Otter taking a very nice early advantage here. However, c3mbrich, of course, with the Huns not needing any houses, already having the 200 pop space, that's going to be a lot of military coming out very quickly. And we see cav archers getting on this very nice hill, overlooking the lake. These cannon galleons are a little bit too far forward, and they're going to get pressured by these. They're going to get one's going to take out by these cav archers, and the second one might go down. And his army is just going to walk right past the lake, and it's going to be a Hun rush. We see elephant archers, we see camels at home. Otter not having a lot of military here to deal with this. This is going to be dangerous. Castle will go up to help protect against this. But even though Otter has invested heavily into gaining control of the middle pool, which is, usually how you want to do this map, some camels are going to go around and try to harass. This fight in the middle is going to be very dangerous for Otter to try to survive through. Castles aren't going up, TCs aren't going up. Thank you for the follow, sniper. And Otter will clear this up. So Otter does survive that early rush. The early Hun rush, very dangerous. And a lot of camel pressure at home, not a lot of kills. I mean, Otter has found an eco kill, so there's no eco kills from c3mbrich in that early rush. And what this means is that like both players just now starting to play a standard game, except Otter has this middle lake control. c3mbrich does have this really juicy hill right now, but those cav archers are going to get chased away as a cannon galleon and start raining down cannonballs. He needs to make sure to watch out for that. And elephant archers are going to be very nice to deal with. And might not be the best unit, but they are going to be very tanky. And with the cannon galleon support, it's going to be tough to get onto there. Now we see map control trying to be fought over for c3mbrich on these other ones. Some skirms from c3mbrich. Yeah, we gotta love the skirms. Best way to deal with camel archers and cannon galleons is skirms. But Doc's going to be controlled here. I mean, Otter's going to contest the lake on the right. And one on the left. We'll see if there's any production being made out of either of these, but they're just kind of at a standstill there. Expansions in the back for both players, and yeah, I think it's just kind of trying to keep the water control in Otter's favor. I mean, this right lake is actually kind of with how the map is positioned. This right lake feels way more important than it probably usually is. So, probably see some fighting. We actually even see a castle go up, but the drone one's going to try to pressure that. And Otter cancels the foundation, doesn't want to lose the stone. Just smart here. So they're just going to keep fighting over the middle. I mean, c3mbrich has so much more production, has twice the military. And I feel like these cannon galleons aren't really being used to the extent they could be. They're not really getting any shots off. And it's just empty population. I mean, they're going to... It's kind of keeping c3mbrich from pushing forward, but this massive Hun army could pose a serious problem. There's no siege behind it. I mean, there's some Tarkans. But if there's a Trevor 2, we'd see maybe some chance for c3mbrich, but he's going to push into here. He can win some fights, but with no siege to back it up. he's not going to be able to push into these buildings very easily, and is going to be falling back. And once his castle does go up, it's at 99.83. We got a doubt castle on our hands, folks. The doubtiest of doubt castles. But I mean, it's kind of hard to push into. Come on, give one more villager. This one villager, mining gold. Finish his castle, Otter. Otter, please, it's one hammer hit. It's just you gotta open the doors. It's completely done. You just gotta open it for public visits, and we got fights in the middle. And Otter's attention is everywhere but this one castle. You get this one castle, and now the Treb's firing at it. Please, Otter, get the villager there. It's taking so much more damage from this Treb than it should. Because it's in foundations mode. No, Otter, please. This castle would be doing so much work. Come on, you have to notice it now. Okay, now he notices. Alright, perfect. Now the castle can actually do something. But that's so much lost opportunity there. Otter is doubting. Yeah, the doubt one. Rams coming in, but I mean, like, elephants can pop in and out now. This castle needed to be up a while back, and now it's just taking so much damage, and this is going to be problematic. The ram coming in, only elephant archers. Villagers need to come over, repair. The demos aren't doing anything. Cannon gallons can take out that ram, so that's going to be nice. So Otter's trying to stabilize, but definitely missed. Like, if that castle was up that entire time, it'd be such a better position for him. So 2 Trebs coming in, trading demos on the side. Both players trying to establish an eco, trying to establish military. Otter's still 50 military behind. And also, like, what do we got? 6 demos that are doing nothing. So castle's going to go down. The c3m taking out these docks is a huge annoyance for Otter. And there goes the castle. So Otter missing his opportunity to establish his foothold in the middle. Has control of the lake, and those Trebs are trying to take out some of these cannon gallons. And we're down to only 2 cannon gallons for Otter. He had a handful more, but those cannon gallons really not generating too much value. As much as you'd think they would, from having pretty much uncontested control of the middle lake. So Otter's struggling a little bit here. Is trying to reestablish his castle, try to reestablish control of the middle. But this Droman causing problems. You actually see Siege coming forward. Andres coming forward for Otter, trying to land some shots here. And there's just no reaction. Stand ground. Another victim of stand ground. Alright, Droman goes down. So this lake is open for the taking. And the Elephant Archer is going to try to protect or take out this. Oh, that's a big shot. That's a good shot on the. Yeah, but this Treb stays up. I cannot believe that Treb survived. So, c3mbrich continuing to press forward. Has max pop. And Otter's going to reach that shortly. But another snipe of Treb. And these villagers are going to deny this dock. c3mbrich is really making Otter work with. But we see raids on the left side. Some Hussars going over here, raiding some economy. And we're kind of transitioning into a more standard middle game. The difference being, I think, c3mbrich has gotten a good amount of damage. So his resource bank is definitely higher. But Otter still has that middle map control. And hasn't really been able to do much with it. I would love to see maybe a castle on this hill now established. Otter should just match Elephant Arch. He doesn't even have a need of pushing the middle. Right. But he's getting pushed on this side and just can't really seem to mass up the units he needs to contest this Hun army. And a little bit of an overboom from both players at 130 vills. So it's going to be interesting to see if that. And the castle goes down. Yeah, Otter just is getting all of his castles sniped. Hasn't really been able to, like, with this amazing map control he hasn't really been able to do much with it. And he's just been on his back foot the entire time. Has one control of the south dock as well. And that's has fishing ships here, which is like, sure. But now they're doing nothing, right? So you could probably delete them. Open up that pop space. Maybe get a dock on the outside and you get the fishings out there. But right now the action is going to be on this right pond. And we actually see villagers come forward to try to build a mining cap in the middle. And does Otter notice these dock foundations going up? c3mbrich is finally trying to build these contested docks in the middle. This dock foundations was placed earlier in the game and has not been touched since. So, one dock is up. Anything coming out of it, we'll wait. In the meantime, the big fight is going on this side. Otter's trying to push here. There's no Trebs to help push against this castle. I don't know if Otter didn't know about this castle, but he's trying to push into this castle. All the camels are going to die from 2 castles. All these cav archers are going to get some good damage here, and the camels are going to raid some of these villagers. But the Trebs are going to take out this dock. Andres is going to try to do some damage here. A couple Trebs here would have done so many wonders. And clustered up, and the camel's going to wipe out the cav archer armor. So that's a very nice find. But, I mean, these 2 castles stay up. No Treb support. No long-range demos, no counting galleons, nothing. So even though he's able to clean up some of the army and get some villager raids, all it's doing is delaying c3mbrich's army composition and repopulating and bringing down the villager count. So in the left side, we kind of missed it. We see the fire ships coming up trying to contest us, and Otter finally realizes. Both players, no micro on the right. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, Otter didn't need to micro over here if he had 1 or 2 trebs. Now the treb's here. But if he'd had 2 trebs here, this castle goes down, this expansion is now gone, right? So it's a little bit frustrating just to see that he had an opportunity but had no siege support. Granted, he's been the one being pushed, so having trebs is kind of just empty, wasted pop. So, but a lot of camels. There's really not much outside of cav archers deal with these camels. So I'm surprised there's no halberdiers. I mean, there's a few halberdiers coming out now. And good paladin raid. Paladin's going to get a lot of this heavy siege that Otter has not been using very much. And during this time, the push in the middle, this hill, just forever the thorn on Otter's side. Even with this water control, no cannon galleons pressuring these trebuchets. He's using this to, you know, secure this middle gold, which is going to be helpful, but I mean, he's just never taking control of this middle area despite having that pond the entire time. And now the trebs are over here trying to take out this castle. I mean, I think Otter is going to succeed over here. These camels are doing a lot of damage to these cav archers, and there's nothing really here. Their camels are going to go forward. They're going to take out this castle. And so that's a very nice find from Otter, but he's going to lose this fight in the middle. And okay, these trebs are left unexposed. We have the c3mbrich riders coming in to take out these trebs, and so that's a good find from Otter, keeping this castle alive just barely. And yeah, cav archers continue to be thrown away, and c3mbrich's army count is starting to fall pretty severely. We have a dromino here trying to pressure this castle, and some hussars coming out to try to maybe deal with that and maybe go on some raids. But Otter's clearing up this right side of the lake, and if he can deal with this, it's going to open up a little bit of his headaches and maybe be able to establish control in that very important hill that c3mbrich has been taking advantage of this entire time. Would have loved if we massed elephant archers, not camels. 40 elephant archers and 20 camels. That's true. I'm with you on that one. But he is establishing control on this right side. Establishing control of the lake. He's going to get this gold. There's, you know, only 2.5k gold. That's quite a lot of gold at this stage of the game. Could try to go for relics. But now he has control of 3 of the 4 ponds and is actually contesting this left one. Only 1 droman in the middle. Very low HP, so we could see something get sniped there. The castle over here to protect that lake. But Otter is looking really, really good considering that really troublesome push he had to deal with early on. And we'll see if the Huns are able to snap back. And yeah, right now we just have all of these fire ships in the middle. I need to turn off my Discord notifications. The c3mbrich is going to come in and get some raids, and I believe the c3mbrichs are the ones that dodge, they dodge the arrow fire or something like that. So they're very good at raiding, going to get a lot of villager kills. Fight on the right side, the ram push kind of seems like maybe a last-ditch effort by c3mbrich to try to push Otter off of this, but with so many units here, the shotgun throwers, all of the camels here, and c3mbrich taps out, Otter takes game. Well played by Otter, despite the doubtiest of doubt castles. Very well done from Otter. Despite missing the doubt castle, despite not having the trebs in the first right side push, manages that early dock placement, takes over the map, and Otter persists through and wins. So very nice game, but holy shit, let's go and look. I want to see how long that castle. Okay, so we need to know. So he finishes the castle at 10:16. Jesus Christ. At least 2 minutes. He's building it here. He's starting building it. He started building at 5 minutes. That was a 5-minute castle. Otter. My dude. And it's like, it's not even like, oh, they sniped a villager off on the side that you didn't know about. This was where all the action is happening. Let's see when the villager gets sniped. And almost up. There it gets sniped. 8 minutes. So it takes 2 minutes for him to realize, hey, this castle never went up. It's like the action's happening right here. Like, sure, he's microing elsewhere, But you have to look over and be like, why is this castle? Okay, there it goes. That's crazy. That's crazy. Oh, Otter. The doubtiest of doubt castles. I mean, hey, at the end of the day, it did go up. So, it's not the true doubt castle. Not the true doubt experience. So, good job from Otter. Taking a game. We can get the next one. Nope, not that. We want this. All right, so a loss on the Huns and a win on the Gujaras. I'm going to go fill up my water because that's what happens when I cast. So the next map is going to be Shoals. So another water map. So what are people thinking for Shoals? I'll be right back. Let me grab my water. All right. Shoals' prediction is Berbers versus Bengalis. Berbers, Byzantines. I would expect Byzantines. I feel like Bengalis are better at hyper random. Because remember, there is a hyper random map. So, or Byzantines might be pretty solid on hyper random, right? Like, aren't Byzantines just like a generally pretty solid all around civ? I could definitely see that being the case. All right. Turn to main menu. All right, Bengalis, Berbers. I don't know if anyone predicted that. Nope. Yeah, Griffin got the prediction right. Bengalis, Berbers on Shoals. So what's the just real quick. Bengalis, ships regenerate. Berbers, ships move faster. Cool. Ought to go for the land push then. What is the third map left? Third map will be Shoals. So it's Hyper Random and Sunburn are the last two. Capture age. All right. Welcome to game 3. Tarnished Deathmatch. Turn the timeline off. In the yellow, having won a massive game on Immersion, we have Otter 1 playing the Bengalis. Their opponent, c3mbrich, playing the Berbers in the red. Looks like we have castle and stables coming out for the Berbers players, so probably see some camels. There we are. And early docks from Otter 1, as he likes to play. Villagers are going to be left exposed as some halberdiers try to come out to try to deal with this early hussar. The villager is a little bit far away, and that villager is going to run the wrong way and does get sniped. So c3mbrich does find one nice early vill pick. So it's going to give Otter a little bit of a slow delay. I mean, the Bengalis do get a few extra villagers, so they do have the villager advantage right now. However, the camel's going to come out, and we do see an early canny galleon just to start sniping some villagers. Or some units. The camel's going to start rushing forward. We see docks coming up from c3mbrich. But c3mbrich pretty slow on getting into water. We saw that on the previous map at Immersion. And c3mbrich wants to get that early production out first before focusing on the water. So it's going to allow Otter 1 to build up some units on the lakes. And there's those demo ships that we want to see. Only regular demo ships, not heavy demo ships. And right now, I mean, I've been looking away. Eco KD is 5, 6. These camel raids are decimating Otter. Down to 3 villagers. Insane. c3mbrich getting so much value from these early camel raids, and I don't think Otter was expecting that much of a heavy commitment to the camel raids, and he was just not prepared. Did not get his villagers walled up. Needs to probably, like, I don't even know if he, like, making the village now, but, like, maybe another second TC right away to try to get some eco behind this. Those units are being pulled away by the camels, and in the meantime, I mean, these cannon galleons are doing pretty solid. Wait, fire ships are going to be taking out these cannon galleons. So, not a lot of payoff from Otter trying to pressure this water start. And so, I mean, Demo's going to land some good hits here. Maybe trade 1 for 1. And yeah, Demo's going to do some very good, but like trading 2 for 1 isn't the greatest if you have nothing really to follow up on it, right? if he had a massive like galleons or cannon galleons to help deal with this, it'd be one thing. But trading 2 demos for 1 fire ship at the moment is not really something I think Otter can afford to continue at. And getting pop capped as well, 6 villagers. Otter's definitely struggling trying to survive back from that early raid. So map control is going to be in Cambridge's, and we see a little bit of a pincer movement here, as we have the camel archers and camels going to decimate this army of elephants and halberdiers. And yeah, this is not looking like a great start for Otter, as both players try to start thinking about expanding to the gold. We see a bunch of elephants from Otter on the south side try to establish this area, prevent this castle from going up. Don't see the villagers going out there quite yet. Now they're starting to run out there. But Demo's going to start landing on these fast fires, and I think at this point it's just there's not a lot of benefit to winning water, because neither player is really committing to using water, and right now it's just going to be fires trading for demos. And the problem is that I think c3mbrich has such a good economy lead that he's going to be able to carry this on for longer than Otter one will. And especially with winning this top side, Otter has to fall back. That is a massive army, and they're going to start pressuring this north side of Otter's base. And so Otter's going to have to react to that. Is making a lot of military in the water, whereas c3mbrich doesn't really care about populating too many water units. So that means that the land army of c3mbrich is going to be a serious problem. And Otter continues to have a rally point forward, so the halberdiers need to fall back and cluster up. They're going to be picked off one by one. Now they're starting to fight. And we actually see the castle getting stopped by Otter. So winning this little fight on the south side, massive win for Otter when he's in a kind of struggling position. Demo's going to come forward and try to deal with these galleons and cannon galleons. So Otter finding some good fights here and there, but has to deal with his ball, and he has. It's down to just camel archers, and these elephants and halberdiers are going to be able to clean this up, or at least chase them away. So Otter getting the fights that he needs. I mean, he's so far behind on eco that I think c3mbrich is fine throwing it away, just kind of establishing time, but he hasn't really been able to establish a foothold anywhere else. He's gotten this expansion on this right side. Yeah, going heavy on water is only good if you win it fast. Now it feels like Otter wasted too much on water. Yeah. And now that he's won it, he actually has to benefit from it, right? Like, he can win water, but if c3mbrich is playing the sides and you're not really benefiting from the water, then what are you doing with it, right? He has these galleons, he has these he needs to get like a cannon galleon or something, and there's the cannon galleons coming out. He needs to start pressuring this base, needs to start actually asking questions of c3mbrich to deal with this. And this expansion on the south side is going to go up. c3mbrich shifting his army over there to deal with this, and we actually see the big fight on the top side. Castle has gone up to support this gold TC. And, I mean, we have an Andra here and some elephants. They could be able to take off this TC. And a trebuchet or 2 would be very nice here. These camel archers are going to kind of... I feel like Otter needs to focus these camel archers really heavily, but they could hop in and out of the TC and flank. So a lot of camel archers do go down. These elephants continue to march forward. And, yeah, so we need to see these docks cleaned up. Yo, Sky, thank you for the sub. Hope you're doing well. Little break from Destiny for a bit, but we're playing some Age. And... Alright, yeah, so the expansion on the south side is going to get pressured as well. Camel archers continue to be harassing and stuff. And I think c3mbrich is letting this eco lead kind of slip away. Otter's starting to kind of establish it has pop count advantage. And the cannon gallons now starting to show their benefit and actually generate some value from winning water. So Otter's clawing this one back despite having such a rough start with the early aggression from c3mbrich. And yeah, I mean, I think c3mbrich just kind of giving up on water and not really caring. Now we see the redocking plans, maybe, just try to pressure some of this. And some halberdiers here to intercept the fires, but... Well, actually, Otter's lost all of his navy, besides those cannon galleons. So these fires are going to come in and just completely destroy these cannon galleons. So, like, they've generated a lot of value, but now Otter has maintained water control, and he's going to lose... And now the fire ships come out to counter it. But that's an expensive loss of losing those cannon galleons that are doing so much. But he's reestablished map control. He has pushed all of c3mbrich back, and now it's kind of divided up. Water's up in the air right now for both players, and they're focusing on expanding on these on the top and the south side. So looks like this castle might go down if villagers don't start repairing a bit more. And these castles might just end up trading, because I don't think there's enough villagers really to keep either castle up for a long period of time. And it's going to be a question of whose army is better here. And I think Otter has a worse army in this specific spot. Oh, we've actually seen a long swords or champion switch from Otter, and both castles do go down, so that's going to leave these TCs kind of exposed. And Trebs are here for both teams. They're going to start trying to take out these expansions. No gold income for either player, really. We see a massive army on the top side for c3mbrich. And with a trebuchet trying to pressure this castle, I mean, and Otter really not having anything up north to deal with this. So population counts have pretty much equalized. It's really going to be a question of who can get gold income first. And Otter has, I think, a bit more on gold right now, a lot back home, but no food in the bank versus c3mbrich's still has 4k gold or 4k food, has some decent farm economy going right now. So it's going to be. I mean, I kind of like c3mbrich's position better. The fight in the middle. I mean, Otter has snapped back and won the water once again. But as we saw, it just takes a little bit of a slip from Otter and this small mass of fighter ships, and or even some demo ships, and they're just gonna wipe out all of Otter's military or naval force. But these cannon galleons are back here, and they're gonna start pressuring some of these units. Could pressure this castle. And yeah, now we even see that this push on the south side just completely abandoned by c3mbrich, and Otter has completely won control of all this gold. That's going to be huge for Otter to advance here. A lot of camel archers down here to stop this push. But this has opened up the map significantly for Otter, and it's going to give him so much gold access. A second castle even would be really nice here, just to really secure this. Maybe some production buildings over here to help reinforce it. Maybe a barracks or two. But we even see some Rothas come out. So the camel archers can come forward and at least snipe this Treb if Otter's. I mean, that's Treb's at 2 HP. Honestly, you'd love to repair that, but some naval action has happened. These demos are going to take them out. I don't know if there's much trades there, but these cannon galleons are going to be able to range this castle. So once again, showing the benefit. We have a sneaky Treb that's going to come out. Maybe that's going for the cannon galleons, or is it going for the buildings? Nope, it's going for the buildings. Alright, there are the galleons and some testing on the water. But the numbers for Otter one are going to mean that he wins the water here. And c3mbrich will have to try to crack back on the water again. We see a big fight back here. Those camel archers are going to clean up this expansion pretty well, but the problem is they have nothing to challenge this castle until the castle reinforcements and the Treb. I assume there's going to be a Treb coming out here shortly. But this castle will be a nice staging point for an attack. But, I mean, again, well, actually, no. c3mbrich is getting some nice value from up here. It's kind of tough to take this gold with how the water is so close to gold with the cannon galleons. But we'll see. Oh, are they a little close? They're going to get hit by the... Does Otter notice? Okay. They don't want to engage too much. Oh, and the fires, a good attack, and the fires are going to take out these cannon galleons. One's still up. So, very nice little gambit from c3mbrich, focusing here. And takes off this expansion. So it's going to be kind of a battle of both sides now having full access to gold. These camels are still kind of pestering and splitting Otter's forces. Otter's military has dropped massively. There's no food eco. Not a way for Otter to really repopulate his army. And now he's going to be pushed on this top side. Doesn't have the army to deal with it. Has the rally point still far forward. And they're going to get picked off one by one. Yeah, and he's going to get pushed on this top side, and now he's getting pushed on this bottom side, trying to stop this castle from going up. But I don't think it's going to be the case. Only one villager building it, only one trebuchet trying to counter-build it, or counter it down. And there's so many camels here. The camel archer's still in the backside, so this expansion might get cleaned up, and Otter's going to get knocked off the gold. At the same time, c3mbrich is getting fully fleshed out on this gold. Look at all of these villagers. That is 60 gold miners just milking all of these resources from this area. And Otter has nothing on gold. Only, like, so his economy is just wrecked right now, has no military to back up, has lost water once again, and now we even see the cannon galleons from c3mbrich starting to pressure the way Otter has been pressuring all game. And Otter just does not have the eco to back this up. He needed a bit more victories in the middle, and he's getting pushed here and doesn't have the resources or economy to really rebuild and repopulate. So we're going to see a massive elephant push here. Not a very massive. 15 elephants is going to be pretty nice. Can maybe take out some of these Trebs and might buy Otter some time, but he's getting pushed on both sides, and he doesn't have an army on the south side. And with the cannon galleons coming in, they're going to take out this castle. They're going to take out all the docks. I'd love to see 1 or 2 demos. I know it's hard to afford it or something like that, but these cannon galleons are just kind of wide open. And big elephant push is forcing a lot of these villagers and units back. So those elephants are going to get some value and actually knock c3mbrich massively off of gold. but it's only temporary. The Camel's going to come over here and try to engage here. Takes the Treb. And Otter's going to try to fight back to gain control, but I mean, it's still... Cannon Galleons on the south side are going to start wrecking havoc. This expansion has been completely cleared up. Cambridge can just drop another castle. Once he gets a stone, maybe a TC or two, and just really establish control of that south side if they fight over the top side. And Otter, yeah, has to call it. Out of resources, out of economy, out of space, out of water. Well done from Cambridge, holding on despite all the early water play from Otter, despite some of the bad things. Took control of those golds when it was necessary. Didn't allow Otter to get too established on the south side and managed to fight back at the right times. Kept challenging water when he needed to. And overall, it was just a great game. I think that was very well played by both players. I think Otter didn't benefit when he needed to from the water as much, and unfortunately got a little bit strapped on resources, whereas c3mbrich kind of always had a good economy behind everything, had the farm eco he always needed, and yeah, well done by c3mbrich. That was a very good game. I could have seen either player winning. It was not... It definitely had its ups and downs, and I think... I mean, I definitely underrated how much trouble some of those elephant pushes would do. Also, I mean, Otter coming back after being down to 3 villagers against like 16 at one point is wild. You have to remember, Otter lost so many. If we look at early on, where are some of the early... Yeah, like at this point, 2-9. These camel raids devastated Otter's early game. 2 villagers. That's insane. He came back from this. And he was contesting, he was winning water when there was nothing really on water, and then he just didn't really do much with it. So, very well done from Otter, coming back from this just a massive rush. That is, you know, what makes the top DM players better than a lot of the DM players is if you lose all your villagers as a lower level player, you're not coming back from that. But Otter secured himself and managed to make quite the game. So very well done from both players. And going to be, what next? Lobbies is going to be Sunburn. We're going to see Otter's other map is going to be Sunburn. We had the Berbers defeated the Bengalis. So Sunburn, someone's saying Georgians, right? Who was saying Georgians? Griffin was saying Georgians. Burmese versus Bohemians. Now, are Bohemians a good rush civ? I feel like Bohemians are a slower, like, Hoofney civ, right? Like, I mean, Wagons, I guess, are always a good rush civ. But Georgians against Bohemians, that makes sense. Because, like, I can see Ethiopians, though you don't have the early castle for the Shotel rush, like in Akare. Hindustanis are good against, like, Cav, so you could try to do camels versus the Georgians. I assume there's Otter's going to save Byzantines for hyper random, and maybe Hindustanis for hyper random. Now that I think about it, so that might be where that's coming from. Hindus and Ethiopians both don't have treadmill. Oh, that's good to know. So close to your opponent here that you don't have a rush as long as you survive the first 60 seconds. Okay. Yeah, that's always like, especially coming from like a more, when I played, I was more of an RM player. It is just like the importance for treadmill is just so important that I always forget about. I also do like the fact that even though they don't really balance around deathmatch at all, every once in a while, I remember they would just like in the patch notes, there would be like a random Franks lose treadmill crane. Everyone's like, why does that matter? And all the DM players are like, holy shit, this is the biggest change ever. What the hell? So it's always fun to see that kind of reaction, because it was always fun. It was like they're never really balancing around deathmatch. They're balancing around RM 2000 elo, right? Like that's what they should be doing. Unfortunately, as much as I enjoy deathmatch, that's what Age of Empires really is at its core. But then they change a few things like that, and it's just like there's your buffs and your buffs and nerfs DM players, and the DM players are like, this changes everything. 15% build speed, insane. All right, so. Let's load up. Let me make sure I have this correct. So we're going to Sunburn. Georgians and Bohemians. All right. I'm excited. Capture age is here. Calls from Minnesota. Probably no. Actually, I probably should have screened that. But if they need to talk to me, they'll call me again. All right, I'm excited for Sunburn. I haven't seen a Sunburn game yet, so this is gonna be fun. This is the map that I've wanted to see for a while, just because it's the one I don't know. Alrighty, welcome to Game 4 of Division 2's Tarnished Deathmatch Season 6. In the yellow, having lost a close one, is Otter playing the Georgians. Right to his south, in the red, is c3mbrich playing the Bohemians, having won a great game on Shoals. Hussar, just chilling. Villager's gonna get harassed here. And a nice 2 early kills from c3mbrich. Otter really suffering on that early eco. Now has to force all of his villagers into the TC. That will go down. But that's going to be such a delayed start for Otter. And Otter is not able to find any damage. That is a huge loss. We actually even see the mule cart coming in here to try to soak up some aggression. Smart play from Otter, using the mule cart just as a decoy. But not really benefiting too much from it. And now we see the walls. We see house walls. Interesting. A nice little play from c3mbrich, just kind of making a wall to prevent any early aggression, though. Needs to make sure not to trap all of his units in here. So that's going to be interesting to see how he kind of gets out of that. Okay, there's a hole there, so they do get out. But this production from Otter is really tough. He's going to have to build a chicken castle and, you know, wall in his villagers to make sure that it goes up and try to protect himself from that. But for being told that this was going to be a heavy rush map, this is a lot less rushing than I thought there would be. Both players electing, c3mbrich elected to play very passively once he's gotten that early eco lead, and Otter, I think, being forced into passive play, losing those 2 villagers. So now we see a massive castle expansion on the right side by Otter. And on the left, the infantry from c3mbrich is coming forward with some gunpowder behind it. It's going to be heavy infantry so far, and not a lot of other units. We see, yeah, just cannoneers. Castle is out. We see siege as well. Castle, is it going to make any unique unit? Is it going to make their, what is it, Monaspa? There they are, the Monaspa coming out to help try to deal with these champions. And yeah, Otter's forced to just build a bunch of castles to try to protect his eco. It has evened up the villager count. So c3mbrich a little bit behind on getting his villager production. You can see the idle TC time. c3mbrich having a minute of idle TC time. That's going to allow Otter to catch up economically. But the military is definitely c3mbrich's favored right now. And just with the gunpowder as well, going to cause problems. His military on the left side. Castles are going to have to do a good job of trying to balancing the scales here. There's no castle presence on the left side for Otter until he gets this one up. So now he's going to be able to protect it on that side until the trebs come out, or the even scarier, the dangerous hoofknees. In the meantime, some defensive trebs. The castle's on this right side from Otter. He's going to be able to be protected on this right side, but this left side is going to be where the push is coming from c3mbrich. And it's going to be really, how does c3mbrich decide to deploy these hoofknees? We actually even see TCs going in the back trying to establish some more economy. And we actually see like more of a castle rush coming in from Otter. He's going to try to really pressure this. It has blocked off these 2 trebs, so they're going to get this castle. It's going to be a very nice find, but this massive army on the left side from c3mbrich is starting to pressure Otter. And the hoofknees are coming forward to try to deal with it too, and it's going to be, you know, 3 times the military from c3mbrich. Though once this castle does go down, that's going to be allow Otter to really press forward in this area. This castle going up would allow for nice staging points, but it's going to be kind of a base trade on this side, left and right. But c3mbrich has the army, and I don't think Otter has really the production buildings to really match his army for a while, and especially against hoofknees, just going to snipe all the siege. And so hoofknees going to pressure this, but that's a lot of Andras coming in on this right side. The siege Andras are going to try to one-shot this castle. They're going to do a lot of damage here, but also going to lose quite a lot of siege Andras just kind of for free. And now the siege Andras are getting distracted. Lands a few shots, but he's going to commit. Otter's committing to this. Needs to take out this castle, and that is going to expose the entire right side of this base. And so happy to trade a few siege Andras as the trades on the left go forward. And the trebs starting to fire across the tree line, take out the treb wars. And now that castle goes down, and now the wagons go down as well. And Hoofy's trying to take out some of these Andras, but this is a nice push on the right side from Otter. Still very low in the military. And the military from c3mbrich, though, as maxed up as it is not doing any damage right now. But now he's taking out this castle. There's no defense on this left side. And now this military from c3mbrich is going to start pushing in and start pressuring these castles. And while if this was sudden death, Otter would have won. But it's not sudden death. Otter needs army. He's starting to mass it up a little bit. But it's so kind of out of position. He's taking out these production buildings. but he needs to be able to deal with his military, and there's not a lot of military from Otter. He's going to try to rush into here, but there's so many halberdiers, so many gunpowder units, that, like, maybe a few of these Houfnies fall from the Manaspas, but there's so much military here from c3mbrich that Otter just can't contest this. He's going to continue to try to pressure and do a bit of a base trade, but c3mbrich is just so much well expanded. Even if Otter wins this right side, c3mbrich has all this left eco that he's setting up, and so Otter's not going to be having easy time pushing into this, and he's going to take out this base on the top side. Otter's really on the back foot here, even with this massive push on the south side, which currently is just Trebs, but Otter needs to mass up an army to deal with this massive force, especially so many Houfnies, so many Trebs. These castles are getting melted in like 1 or 2 shots. And so Otter, on the back foot, has the villager lead, is starting to get the military, has balanced out the military. c3mbrich not really having the resources or production buildings. After all those production buildings were taken out, doesn't have the resources. We actually see some Manaspa raids on the south side. So Otter clawing this back, causing chaos, destroying buildings left and right, and now c3mbrich might be on the back foot, but this massive military still causing Otter some problems. And now Otter's turn to lose some military. He has all these Manaspa backed up. He has all these siege onagers. This could be a massive, massive fight. And as scary as this force looks, 1 or 2 siege onager shots, and that could just wipe out all those halberdiers, and those leaves the Houfnies exposed. Champions are going to come forward. It's going to be champions against a couple gunpowders. Not a lot of gunpowder. The champions are going to engage on these halberdiers, and with some good gunpowder and Houfnies micro, it does not benefit much. 1 Treb does go down, but these Houfnies stay alive, the halberdiers stay alive, and that's going to be a delayed push. But now these Manaspa trying to range on the south side, and Otter kind of looks like he has an advantage here. We see this push is kind of pushed back a little bit, but this is such a massive army. And unfortunately, like, c3mbrich is kind of split into 2 sides. He has all this stuff that he kind of needs to keep alive, but he can't afford to have any military over there. All the military is clumped up on this top side trying to take out these buildings. And this is messy as hell, yeah. Otter's going to start losing some production here, but he's kind of all clustered in one spot. He can kind of defend at the same area, whereas c3mbrich is now divided. A lot of his eco is trying to be expanded over here. A lot of villagers. We have 15, so about a fourth of his villagers, third or fourth of his villagers down there. But this army is still, like, I mean, I think Otter's winning the base race, but he has nothing to do with this army. I mean, Otter's military count is higher, but those halberdiers and Houfnies, like, there's so many Houfnies. There's, I'm looking at the wrong side. There's 9 Houfnies, and those are going to be so hard to push into. The Onagers might find a sneaky shot, but c3mbrich is kind of just focusing on microing this. But this is such a huge push with the siege Onagers and the Trebs, taking out all this stuff. All this economy is ripe for the just getting destroyed, and that's going to be a lot of population area lost too. All these houses go down. There's a lot of pop space that needs to be rebuilt. And now we see the Manaspa trying to make a range onto these Trebs. They're going to get chewed up by these halberdiers. They're running past. No, they're going to engage on these halberdiers, and they melt them. That is a huge engagement by Otter. Otter's going to try to clean up these gunners, and that is a massive engagement from Otter. The Houfnies being out of position, halberdiers trying to engage us. I mean, halberdiers will find some picks here, but with behind 2 castles and these, yeah, the castles do defend those onagers pretty well, and now all the military is gone for c3mbrich. It's just those Houfnies. Houfnies, a single moment of lost micro, and the Houfnies being out of position allowed Otter just to wipe out the military, and Otter is probably going to take this one home. I mean, c3mbrich is trying to expand their eco in the backside and has a chance to rebuild. Still has 42 villagers, but to 93 of Otters, and this massive siege push. I mean, granted, when there's a Houfnies, there's a way, so there could be some really good Houfnies micro, but once those Manaspas land on them, if there's not enough halberdiers to deal with this, and a few more champions mixed in, I mean, there's no more gunpowder units, so the champions have nothing to really deal with them, and the Manaspa are just gonna one-shot all these halberdiers. They're gonna run in there, they're gonna nope, they're gonna try to micro away. Otter taking a careful shot. No, not careful enough. Loses most of his siege onagers. Gonna lose the rest of them. That is a massive misstep from Otter. I think it would have been fine if he had run that Manaspa in and taken out those Houfnies. But losing those siege onagers is a massive loss. It's going to slow this push and it'll give c3mbrich some time to rebuild. Granted, these Manaspa are going to raid on the south side. And going to find some nice villager picks here to deny some of this eco. And I think Otter's still winning this. But he definitely lost a lot of very important units that he did not have the resources to replenish. And now this military in the middle is going to be tough for him to deal with without the threat of siege onager landing these shots onto these units. These Manaspa raids, very deadly, still running around, losing them to the TC fire. Not the best micro from Otter. He's going to find a few more villager picks. Needs to get them into the back eco and find what's going on here and find out what he needs to deal with. And these TC's finally going to start going down to some of these champions. Needs to send a Treb over here and just clean this up. Is cleaning up these houses, and we'll have access to the full right. And we're going to get a... If this keeps going, we're going to get a Michi game. We've kind of turned it into Michi. Otter is being too careful? Yes. I mean, I don't blame him entirely because he lost all of his siege onagers. If he had these siege onagers, I think he'd be way more aggressive right now. But he lost those siege onagers, and now this is a tough thing for him to deal with. Granted, he has these champions that are engaging and missed micro from c3mbrich, allowing the champions to get onto the Hoofnies and into the ball of halberdiers. So, I mean, the Hoofnies do run away scot-free for the most part. I mean, down to, what, 5 Hoofnies? Or 8 Hoofnies now. Not the best engagement. Those Hoofnies were not microing against those halberdiers, but now we just have a standstill, and Otter needs to clean up this little fortification, which he's going to go do. But Otter had, I think, an opportunity to win the game there, right then and there. Still has double the eco, so Otter definitely can win this game easily right now. However, the question is going to be, can c3mbrich stabilize? I mean, he's stabilized for now. Can c3mbrich build back? We're going to see some more Manaspa raids. I don't know if I like the raids here. Like, yes, you want to keep the eco off, but I think you just need to take out these Hoofnies. If you send your army there, build up some champions, build up maybe some more siege, I mean, the gold's going to be a problem. But if you can snipe half these Hoofnies, then all of a sudden c3mbrich has so little less to deal with, right? So, some very far expansions both on sides. So I think Otter is just being a little bit... Yeah, Castle's going to be a very nice castle. But again, these Hoofnies are just causing the problems. You need to kind of deal with these Hoofnies right away. And Otter is choosing not to engage with the elephant in the room, which is the Hoofnies. Instead, trying to send these Manaspas to their death and try to raid these TCs, which is, you know, getting some damage and preventing the eco from c3mbrich from exploding. But he's being pushed in the middle, and there's not any military from Otter. Otter down to 40 military, just doesn't have the eco. Had 113 villagers. What are the villagers doing? Are they all just repairing? I mean, they're all... Oh, I'm looking at c3mbriches. I need to just swap them. So Otter has the resources, has everything he needs, but he needs to build a military. He needs to take out these Hoofnies. Otter needs to patrol in with Hoofnies. Champ. Yeah. Otter just needs... If Otter clears out all of these Hoofnies in one go... Oh, no. He has his chance right here. They're out. The halberdiers are out. Okay, Hoofnies is being pulled back. No. Land some shots. Throw... No, Otter's backed away. He panicked. I think he missed his shot. It was like 1 or 2 seconds of delay. He could have gotten there. Yeah, Otter just needs to find a way to engage onto these Hoofnies. These Hoofnies have gotten too much value. 81 kills between these Hoofnies. Like, Otter needs to build up champions. He's building some champions now. He's missed his opportunities. He needs 2 groups of army. Yeah. I'd love to see some trash as well, some hussars or something, whatever the Jordans get. Use those to raid the economy. You know c3mbrich's economy is weak. c3mbrich is down to 46. Halberdier's going to find some nice little raids. And there's a Manaspa, because you keep sending Manaspa to raid, which is great. And there's the engagement. Otter's going to try to engage here. He's trying to fight, but he's going to have to fall back. Does take out some of the Hoofnies, so does get half the Hoofnies. And now the Manaspa on the south side are going to take out this gunpowder, so the champions have a chance. So now the champions deal with. The Halberdiers are split, and now the Manaspa could just go straight for the Hoofnies. And they're going to try to engage, and they are engaging on the gunpowder and not the Hoofnies. And that is a very bad engagement from Otter, losing all of his military. Not good micro. Does have the good raids and the backside, but stop using the Manaspa to raid. Build your army. You almost had it there. You just need some champions and some Manaspa. Use the Hussars to raid. Get your farm eco going. But with 4 Hoofnies, Otter's going to continue to pressure a little bit. And some ram pushes here, take out some of the production buildings is nice. But Otter's a little bit too disjointed and needs to figure out his full game plan. And right now his game plan is Manaspa raids, but those Manaspas keep running into this TC area and keep dying to these TCs. The TC has 9 kills, 12 kills, 0 kills there. So Otter not getting the best raids that he needs, but he is still keeping the economy very low for c3mbrich. And now these Hussars are going to come in and snipe maybe one of the Hoofnies. No reaction, does get 1 Hoofnies, almost gets the second one. It's now more Hoofnies coming out from c3mbrich. So c3mbrich starting to get the economy he needs to make more production in military. Otter playing too cautious? Absolutely. Also, you could take out these houses when you can. Just some free damage. Yeah, these Manaspas are going to take out this TC for free. Unless these Halberdiers have something to say about it. But I just don't think these raids are doing what Otter needs them to. Like, he's keeping some attention to keep the numbers down. And I think, granted, c3mbrich is, I think, full attention is on microing these Hoofnies. Which kind of is what he needs to. Onager shot does take out 1, weakens another one. But these Hoofnies are still just causing so many problems. Onager up to 42 army. Don't really see where it is. It's up here. So he's massing up. He's going to try a ram push. Again, okay, there's the champions in the rams. You can try to rush them in, try to shield them against the Hoofnies. That's a lot of gunpowder, and you need the Manaspa. You need a good engagement here from Otter. He's even with the double economy, he is not able to out-military c3mbrich anytime soon. And now c3mbrich has that hill. It's going to be very tough to engage on that hill if Otter continues to. Instead, it looks like Otter might send some Hussars to raid. He's trying to figure out when he wants to take his engagement. And the fact that Otter's getting pushed here is wild with half the economy. And he let him get this hill. c3mbrich is going to fall back, get these Hoofnies on the hill. And this splash time is going to be massive. Lands the shots. They're trying to run around. How's the micro, Otter? Halberdier splits. Alright. The Rams going in on it. Oh, this is not the best. Where are the champions? Where are the champions? The champions are left home. He took out two Hoofnies for all that. Otter's just not getting the fights he needs. I mean, there's a big push on this side. So Otter doing a very good job here splitting. Like, he might be losing this fight, but luckily this army is not that big, and he's going to win this fight over here. So, okay, that's where all the military went for Otter. I think that's better than I thought it was. So, very good engagement here. Otter's going to push here and now kind of forcing the issue. And I would love to have had some Manaspa in the back to snipe these guys once they come out. But this push is going to be huge, especially once these Rams go down and some more champions pop out. The Gunpowder's out of position B, and now the Manaspa charging in. No Halberdiers to defend against the Manaspa. They're trying to get there, and the Hoofnies are going to go down. The Rams are there, and all the Gunpowder goes down. Manaspa finally cleaning this army up, and that army that's been so dangerous for so long gets cleaned up. Those Hoofnies are left exposed, and I think Otter's going to finally clean this one up. Took a while to get there, but Otter finally killing those deadly, deadly Hoofnies. Those Hoofnies doing all they could to bring c3mbrich, to keep c3mbrich alive, but that military going down is going to spell the end for this. One more Hoofnies, land some shots, get some villager kills for the people at home. I mean, c3mbrich has cleaned this up. c3mbrich has cleaned this up, but still half the eco. Not a lot of eco expansion in the back area. c3mbrich has been so focused on keeping those Hoofnies alive and preventing against any push from Otter that he hasn't had time to establish his eco. And now the Hussar raids that need to come in ages ago. Finally going to start cleaning up all these villagers, getting into these woodlines, getting into these farms, and c3mbrich has to finally tap out. What a game. Alright. Sunburn might be my favorite map. Oh, what a game. I mean, it was a lot less... I do not think that game should have been as close as it was. It was great, and c3mbrich held on like a champ, but I think Otter had that so much. Like, look at these, look at the score, military. The fact that Otter never out-popped or out-militaried is insane. Economy, like, look at this economy chart. I think Otter, like we said, it was just Otter being too cautious, and a few of the fights he tried to take were just not good. And those Hoofnies, the champion Hoofnies, the greatest Hoofnies you've ever seen, were just running riots and just destroying everything. And Otter could just not get a good engagement for his life. But we have a game 5. We have a 2-2 game 5. I am so excited for this. Oh. I did feel my voice starting to go a little bit, so I'm going to pop another cough drop. And I'm going to go fill up on water before we get to the next map. Great micro from Otter. Yes, Otter redeemed himself with that last push. I didn't see it. I didn't see the split push. But all those really rough engagements he had, he won the one that mattered. Like, he never let c3mbrich get fully back into the map. And he won the one where it allowed him to actually win the game. So, let me just clean this up. Bohemians, dead. And Jordan's victory. Last map is going to be hyper random. Oh boy, we have the hyper random. I'd love to hear everyone's thoughts. I'm gonna guess Byzantine and Hindustanis. I'm gonna guess Byzantine versus Hindustanis. I will be right back to fill up on water. Give me your predictions. Who you think is going to win? What the civs you think are going to be? But this is gonna be great. I'm excited. This set has been fantastic. Oh. I think this might be my first actual game 5. I've had mostly, I think, 5-0s. Like, some of the 5-0s have been close 5-0s, which is, you know, not the most thing. But hyper random is a big bet. Yeah. Honestly, my opinion on hyper random would be that I think it'd be most fun if that was just the default admin pick. Like every game starts on hyper random or something, as silly as it is, just because it's like, as much as I enjoy hyper random, having hyper random for game 5 feels silly. It's like Final Destination being the game 5 for Smash Bros. Melee. And I don't know if any of you will get that reference, but it's you don't want the most like weirdly dynamic map that is hard to, that is like a very, it's kind of the opposite of Final Destination, because Final Destination is so one-dimensional, whereas this is two mini dimensions. But it's gonna be a good one. I'm excited. Either that or it's gonna be a very quick result. Oh, that was a map. That was, as somebody who is not the best color commentator. So that's the thing, is that like, one thing I want to work on is my color commentary. But the thing I really like is that shout casting of like narrating everything that's happening real quick, real fast. And those kind of games are the ones that I absolutely love and thrive on. And so that was a fun match to go. Is the high intensity. That's a part of DM that I love. The early rush, I'm not the biggest fan of, but when it's just armies clashing into each other and it's like that kind of chaos, I love that shit. You kind of got that reference? So essentially, to explain the Smash reference a little bit more, is Final Destination, as great as it is a flat stage, there's no platforms. And so it's a very, like, everyone knows what's going to happen on Final Destination. It's like, okay, Marth's going to chain grab the spacies, laser camping. Like, Puff's not going to have the right place. It's Final Destination is the most boring and most, it gives them, it's the map with the most advantage to certain characters. All the other maps have their advantages and disadvantages, but the benefit that Final Destination gives to certain characters like Marth is so much stronger than any other map. And so it's just like, going into a game 5, you want it to be somewhat balanced and like fair, and both players have a solid like footing for the most hype. Whereas like if it's on Final Destination, you kind of know how the game's going to go and how it's going to be. So Otter or Camber, yeah. Ethiopians against Byzantines, is that the plan? Or are you just seeing? Okay. So it looks like they've started. Let's hear, I don't have channel votes or anything like that set up. But I want to hear, who do you think is going to take it? So the match is going to be Burmese versus Ethiopians on Hyper Random. All right, who's everyone voting for? Who's everybody rooting for? At this point, I just want a great game. I want a good game 5. I want a barn burner of a game. Otter wins if the map is open. Yeah, so like, what is the, in like 5 words or less, in 30 seconds or less, what is the game plan for each civ? What are people thinking the plans are? I mean, it's going to depend on what the map is, but like Ethiopian Siege, Burmese, Arambai, like, what are we feeling? All right, switch over to Capture Age. Ethiopians survive 5 minutes, then kill all with Siege Halb. All right, Brazilians voting for Otter. Burmese, Ellie's, and Champs Rush kill fast. Do we think it's going to be a water map? That's my question, is how watery is it? It is. Oh, man, there is no water here. All right, in the game is 2-2 for Division 2. In the red, playing the Ethiopians, is c3mbrich. And in the yellow, playing Otter, is the Burmese. And we have 2 TC start. We have a double TC start with Yurts, and we have monasteries already out. We have a full open map, a lot of resources around it, but it is arenafied as hell. What a crazy, crazy game 5. We see a raid on the top side with Ivane. Heroes already out. 2 heroes for both sides, getting the early raids in. I'm gonna find some nice villager kills. Halberdier is gonna come out and try to clear up that fight. The units over here. So we see 5 kills already for c3mbrich, 3 for Otter, as the heroes just rain havoc on both sides. We see defensive castles trying to go up. We see hills in the middle. This is gonna be a crazy game already, I can tell. But these are close maps. They are so close to each other. This is going to be very aggressive. And the Burmese can get a very early rush is what I'm hearing, right? So it's going to be Halberdiers, the Elephants. Yeah, Elephants, Elite Battle Elephants going to be the play from Otter. Hermes going to try to win on that. Camel's going to be Halberdier is going to be the play from Cambridge. He tries to go anti-Elephants. They're going to be sending them all to the right side. There's not a lot of units over here to help defend against this. Otter kind of dedicating all of his resources into this left side. Not a lot of micros. This base might just kind of fall, and it's going to give Cambridge an extra expansion on the top side. You can't really afford to lose your early second base. But Otter's going to kind of commit to trying to push on this left side. This castle on this hill is going to go up, and that's going to be a very nice defensible position. These camels are going to come in and try to deal, but that's a lot of elephants coming forward. We need to see some trebs or something. Yeah, this side expansion has fallen for Otter. That's actually going to be a very big problem, because like Cambridge already has his expansion. He has a second production setup. He's going to be able to set up an eco. So Otter needs to win this with an early rush. That is the game plan. The monetary is already being up, though, means that some monks are going to come out. We actually hear some conversions come out. And so Cambridge having the response, the camels, the halberdiers, it's going to be a battle of can Otter win early, or is it going to be Cambridge going for the long game? Like, yeah, Otter has secured this a little bit, but like he just doesn't have the economy built up. He's not planning on it, and we see just a massive expansion for Cambridge, and Cambridge is better suited for the long run. But this elephant ball is going to come forward for Ottawa, and there's the siege workshops. It is all over the place. But I mean, you look at the mini map, and Cambridge is just expanding. And can Otter make a push? He needs siege to back up. He needs some trebs. Where are the trebs? There's all the trebuchets coming out. Only one castle up though, so can only trickle treb right now. He needs some more trebs to start pushing. But these elephants are going to start coming in here. That's so many elephants. That's halberdiers should win in theory, but that needs a lot of halberdiers to deal with this many elephants, and the elephants are starting to push forward. Otter's getting some ground. He's up twice the population, and now he's pushing in at these buildings. He's going to take out the treb. The treb from Otter now coming out. Otter needs some siege or something to help deal with this. He needs just make some rams. You need rams now to push the buildings. Doesn't matter anything else. I want rams out of your siege workshop. I need some more trebs. The elephants need to continue to push, but if he gets pushed back, it's going to be very tough. And Otter has taken the eco lead, so the villagers have been taken down. Monks trying to get some more conversion on these elephants. And Otter continue to push us forward. The castle is going to go up. These trebs are left so exposed, but unable to be pressured by these elephants. And on the right side, the treb's pushing, and now Otter's forced to send some units here. But no, Otter kind of abandons it. He's going to send one elephant and a champion over to try to deal with these. But this expansion from Otter is going to explode. And again, Otter's entire game plan. Now he's pushing forward, taking out these trebs with these elephants, taking out these buildings. The castle goes up. Treb's going to come forward. We need some more siege, Otter. Cambridge on the back foot, needs to keep his hopes alive. If he keeps his military numbers high and can deal with this elephant ball, he's going to win the game. It is an all-in from Otter. We are seeing Game 5 all-in. Even see some Aaron by coming in just to try to snipe some villagers here and there and prevent anything from going on. This top side is completely untouched by Otter, so even if he clears up this left side, it's going to be tough for Otter. And this map is now almost filled to the brim with units. What a tiny map. This is insane. Yeah, Otter's on a timer. He needs to take out these buildings. He needs more siege. There's nothing coming out of these siege workshops. Put out some rams. Put out anything that can help take out these buildings faster. The elephants are going to start whittling away to these siege units, to all these halberdiers. And now he might have taken out this left economy expansion. But Cambridge has an entire north side. And Otter does have a better eco. He's starting to expand his eco, and he's lost his original TC, but he's starting to get a little bit of villager count lead. And with the elephants, if he can keep the elephant counts out and not send them into an army of waiting halberdiers and castles. So we might actually be going to a middle game. Otter losing his military, though. Otter cannot afford to lose the military that he is. He needs to keep these elephants alive. He needs to get back onto gold. But his elephants are all kind of split up, and they're taking shots from these onagers. And now Cambridge has swung back. 3 times the military. Cambridge is pushing back. The siege wasn't there to take out the buildings. The bomber cannon is now coming out. But Cambridge has survived the Otter all in, and now there's no more elephants. There's 6 elephants on the field, and they're running back. And Otter, I don't know if he's found the damage he needed. And now the military from Cambridge is going to start pushing forward. Those torsional engine onagers doing so much damage to these elephants. And you're going to trade with them. And these halberdiers coming through, Otter might be on the back foot here. So, I mean, we see a lot of trade downs, but Otter, 18 military, does not have many resources in the banks. Cannot make the trash to survive this. Didn't take out enough of the buildings here. There's so many houses here. If he had a ram or 2 to push through these and just take out some of this pop space, it'd be a different story. But Cambridge is starting to be the one to asking the questions, and Otter doesn't have a military to answer. And now pressuring on this right side. Yeah, the trebs finally starting to mass up the treb numbers, but the fact that he only had 1 castle making trebs early on meant that he couldn't push the buildings he needed to. Is going to take out some of this stuff. Cambridge is at 200 pop space and has a military. And both players at the same military numbers. And c3mbrich is kind of taking his time, not pushing in. Needs to get his own long-range siege. Needs some trebs, maybe some bomber cannons. But for now he's starting to pressure a little bit. But he has so many halberdiers, and it's nothing for Otter to deal with him. He's going to take out all these buildings with all these trebs, but he needs military. Otter needs eco, he needs military. He's making all the farms, 30 on farms, to try to help with some trash units or something. But Otter has nothing to contest these trebs, and the military number for c3mbrich is starting to cap out. He's going to get close to pop cap limits, and the bomber cannon is going to try to snipe some of these trebs. And Otter may have ran out of steam here. Base swap? Yeah, I mean, yeah, they didn't like their second expansions, clearly. So it's going to be a question of if Otter can survive this push now. c3mbrich survived the first one, and there's bomber cannons from Otter 1. So he's going to have to contest. He's going to have to do some good bomber cannon micro, and some champions are going to try to snipe some of these bomber cannons. And all these buildings going down is going to cause some problems if he can take out all these houses. And there's a lot of villagers hiding behind here, stealing all this gold. If Otter can take those guys out, it's going to make it a lot harder for c3mbrich to fuel this push. And c3mbrich, with his better lead right now, isn't really able to make anything too much happen. The bomber cannon is going to snipe some of these trebs. And the halberdier is going to come forward and try to kill these trebs. The bomber cannons, one treb goes down. Okay, bomber cannon just traded for the treb. Buys Otter some time, but he's losing these production buildings. Champions starting to come forward. And I don't think Burmese champions are very good, if I remember correctly. And the onagers from c3mbrich landing some very nice shots, taking on a massive army. And they're going to engage here, and I mean, they will beat the halberdiers for sure. And Otter buying himself some time, cleaning up these buildings and the houses. Still hasn't realized all this gold being taken. This is huge for c3mbrich. He has 32 on gold. A third of that is from this one TC. So just delaying, losing a third of his gold eco is massive. But both players starting to survive. This game is going on much longer than I think. Burmese champs are good. They have bonus stack. Okay. That is a lack of knowledge from my part. I was thinking of, I forget who I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of a different civ that is similar Burmese in my mind. So Otter is cleaning this up. Hopefully he realizes those villagers there and can clean that up, because that is right now, if he had found this earlier, and c3mbrich lost a third of his gold eco, c3mbrich would be in such a worse position. But Otter is evened up. He has the military lead now. The champion is doing mass work, and we see arbalests being swapped to for the c3mbrich, getting those Ethiopian arbalests. As great as they are, you don't see arbalests in DM very often for a reason. And I mean, with the amount of wood on this map, I mean, I guess it makes sense. And against champions, sure. But you're going to get picked off by these bombard cannons, just destroyed, especially with the torsion. No, the other way, never mind. And so now these trebs can kind of start pushing, and now Otter's one going to be asking the questions. Both players trying to expand their eco, both at 100 plus eco. And can we see? Actually, I need to learn how to use it. I don't know if Otter can. Okay, Treb is out. He's noticed about this. He's going to deal with that now. A little bit too late, but now we might lose a cast with the Aaron by here. Is this an RM game of Arbalest versus Aaron by? What a crazy match. This cleanup has happened. Yeah, this is, and now this pressure, yeah. Okay, that's going to go down. Otter finally taking out a third of his gold eco. That's a huge find. And the castle in the middle goes down. They also have this castle to fall back to. That is a massive loss, and that's a lot of torsion engine bomber cannons. And the Aaron by going to try to engage onto these Arbalests. The Arbalests protecting them. This is a weird meat shield, so to speak, of Arbalests being the meat shield. Going to take out one bomber cannon with the Aaron by. The Aaron by going to get melted by the faster firing Ethiopian. Good micro from c3mbrich, but does have to fall back. And the trebuchets don't want to press too far forward. And both militaries kind of trade off. And villagers trying to escape. No way these villagers survive. And the villagers, oh, they're all surviving and stealing gold and running away with it. Otter, you can't let him get away with these 30 vills. These 15 vills. Just all running away. Look at them. Running with stolen loot. The relics from their lost city. Oh my gosh. What an escape. That's insane. c3mbrich making the heist of a century. All those ecos being saved. And continues to push. And Otter now doesn't have a really good answer. What is Otter's answer to Arbalests and bomber cannons? It looks like it's going to be a couple elephants, some hussars. Actually, that is a lot of meaty boys. I don't know if c3mbrich has seen the meaty boys. But he's not going to engage his army in the middle. He's going to go north. He's going to try to get some raids. We see house walls coming in. Legal and acceptable. But there's still an opening down here. The elephant's going to be very slow at trying to get this raid in and try to get any damage. We'll see if c3mbrich can pull their arm. And there's their house wall as well. c3mbrich walling off this north side. The elephants aren't going to be able to find any damage. They are going to take out some of these buildings that are just not really useful right now. and loses. I think he lost some more productive buildings. And I mean, the siege is kind of exposed. Hussar's going to try to engage on it, but very good engagement, very good attack round from c3mbrich. And these elephants kind of just out in the open. And Otter is going to continue to try to push the side with all those trebuchets. But Otter doesn't have half the military. It is elephants, so the HP is probably roughly equal. But against bombard cannons, siege onagers, and arbalests, that's going to be very hard for Otter to engage in. I mean, Otter needs some more hussars to deal with some of the sniping the siege. But those, so long as the micros from c3mbrich is there. But the castle goes down on the north side. Those trebuchets are going to pack up and start pressuring these buildings. But it is, like, you don't want to be running away from siege onagers. That is a bad position to be in, especially with something as slow as elephants. So, Otter still kind of on the back foot here. We see it's back and forth. And then we have a map division now. So now Otter's able to steal that gold, but there's so little gold left from being mined for so long. So still, c3mbrich has military lead, is pop capped. We'll see if c3mbrich notices that he's 15 pop under. But fighting over the resources, and elephants kind of caught out exposed, and it's gonna be halberdier, arbalests, and siege onagers with some bomber cannons mixed in, sniping some villagers down here versus hussar and elephants and trebs. And a couple bomber cannons for good measure. So, Hussar is going to try to go and maybe think about doing some raids, but they're going to get picked off by these Ethiopian arbalests. No, the Ethiopian arbalests are going to try to snipe those bomber cannons. Does Otter notice it? Loses one on bomber cannon. 2 bomber cannons go down. Otter taking his eye off the ball and loses 2 important bomber cannons that he does not want to lose. Does have a lot of gold in the bank, so can remake them. And we actually see some Hussar raids trying to get these castles that are up. And he might actually be able to stealth that castle. That's huge. In the meantime, the castle down there is going to get pressured by these bomber cannons, but the champion starts chasing him down. And now the military for Otter is coming forward. That massive ball of meat that he's been holding back is going to come forward. And still low population from c3mbrich has not repopped his space. He was trying to get that with that castle, but that castle got denied. Those raids doing a lot of damage. The Trebs coming forward and taking out this castle. And Otter making headway into the base of c3mbrich, taking out a lot of his military. Ehrenby going to do great jobs against these halberdiers. That is a lot of elephants dead. But a lot of the siege from c3mbrich is down. c3mbrich down to 21 military. And now Otter, pushing forward, has the raid to the north side. This is looking very good for Otter. Both sides having great eco. And, like, I mean, the elephants, the raids, the trebs. Now Otter has a siege to push behind this. Needs to make sure to keep sniping these siege units. The Ethiopian siege, incredibly dangerous. Those bomber cannons just sitting there getting so much value. Needs to try to find a way to snipe them. More hussars, more farms from Otter would be huge. Has 50 feet on farms. Needs to keep flooding them. In the meantime, the raids on the top side. Finding siege onagers here and there. Getting villager kills. This is such a crazy game. And if he can take out this castle, the castle not being repaired, that's going to be that's a huge castle to take out. He needs to take out this other one, and then the front of his base is completely exposed. These onagers coming forward to try to take out these trebuchets. Take out some Ehrenby. Bomber cannon's going to take out these trebs. And the onagers are going to land some shots, but they're being sniped by the Ehrenby. The good micro from Otter, and now loses a few of the Ehrenby, but takes out those bomber cannons, takes out most of the siege. And those Ehrenby, the hero Ehrenby, getting 9 kills, going to snipe this another one. And the bomber cannons are exposed. No castles left. 2 trebs down for Otter, and the military has gone down. Both sides going for need to rebuild their army. This is a wild game, and now we see some conversions. The monks coming out for Otter, trying to get some siege onager conversions. If he can convert that. He didn't get the conversion. That's unfortunate. If he got that conversion and landed a shot on these archers, that would have been huge. But c3mbrich starting to build up. c3mbrich still not realizing he's pop capped. Oh, c3mbrich is down 30 units. He could be popped out. Otter's only at 150 as well. But all the actions happening in the middle. I think it's all Ehrenby micro versus siege onager micro. Bomber cannon starting to pressure this middle castle that came up to help protect against this gold. A very nice castle position. He's going to snipe the siege onager. Siege onager is going to just sacrifice his life to take out 5 villagers. Not the best trade, but also something. There's hussars coming in to try to raid. Good reaction from c3mbrich, noticing that raid. And those hussars are not going to find any damage. We even see more house walls. c3mbrich pulling out the RM strats, getting those walls up. And we see a hussar raid in the middle trying to keep his attention away. Is going to snipe these 2 siege onagers at the Ehrenby go down on the south side with a champion there to slow them all down. So unfortunately, a little bit of a delay there. But now c3mbrich has realized it's building houses. These Ehrenby going to find some villagers picks. And the military in the middle for c3mbrich is still there. And some more siege onagers coming in. But the raids from the Ehrenby are going to be very hard to deal with. Villagers trying to build an emergency castle. There's a lot of villagers. But with the Ehrenby, if they notice, Otter could snipe a lot of villagers here. But oh god. Oh no. Loses all of the Ehrenby. All the Ehrenby so weak. The archer's going to be able to pick off so many of them and loses a lot of those important units. And Otter's down to 20 military. And the raids have stopped up north. Otter is still on 60 farms. Still needs to flood all of his units. Has a lot of cav units in the back here. Only 15 though. Mostly hussars and just not high pop counts from either player. Both at 120 vills. And it's going to be continues to be a question of who can pressure this middle area the most. In such a condensed area, the hussar is going to go for a raid, and luckily they don't have any champions with them, so they are going to get the full speed. But this castle is up now, and that's a lot of economy that is well protected, but also exposed. These villagers going to go in, and that's a lot of hussars, but I mean, that's going to be that's most of Otter's army. c3mbrich needs to use this opportunity to start setting up his trebs and bomber cannons. He's going to, and start pressuring the middle, and Otter doesn't have anything to defend because he's committing all of this to the raid, trying to find any damage, but c3mbrich has so much eco that he can replace that. He has a military lead now. Otter going for these raids, but committing too heavily to them, and now he has nothing to contest this fight in the middle. Otter may have made a huge mistake here. Has maybe a treb here pressuring this. This is a nice little treb, but he needs to contest this middle, and he let it slip, and now c3mbrich has pushed him back and gained control of this very important hill, can start pressuring the front of Otter's base. And Otter needs to repop his units. Needs to get his building back up. That outpost probably doing a lot of damage here. And now they're exposed, but there's nothing fast enough. Hussars get sniped. Those siege archers, such good micro, takes out a bunch of them, and just not able to land on those exposed siege archers. Are going to get there now, but that costs so many units. The elephants might not even be able to kill all of them. I mean, we see what champions from two-handed swordsmen to try to contest this, and like those siege archers do survive. The elephants go down. And Otter, down to 11 military, trying to repop. c3mbrich has so many resources in the bank, and has a pop cap. Otter might be running out. This has been amazing micro from c3mbrich. Lands a great shot. The bomber cannon taking out two siege archers. The halberdiers trying to chase him. There's nothing to protect the bomber cannons. That's a problem. Is Otter doesn't have normal military. He has a couple bomber cannons that are getting some good shots, but these halberdiers and arbalest just able to rain havoc onto these bomber cannons. We see more raids. Otter, unfortunately, you can't really stretch c3mbrich's attention too thin because the map's so small. These hussar raids are going to be great. This treb doing some solid damage. But again, the question is going to be, can Otter win the middle? And with the military numbers, I don't think he can. He needs to really come out. And he's overpopped 141 units. Military. They're villagers. And he's not even pop capped. He's not even military pop capped. He needs more, and he just can't produce it right now. c3mbrich's pop cap has so much in the bank. I mean, both players have so much gold in the bank. It's wild. Both of them could afford to delete a lot of villagers. This got cleaned up by the halberdiers, and now c3mbrich is going to be the one to send some halberdier raids in the south side. But there's no economy over here. So, all the economy is kind of on the south side and the north side, and continues to push in the middle. This is a wild match. Hussar's going to try to find some engagements. They're just going to run past. They're not even going for the bomber cannons. Otter, you had a chance. You could have sniped at least one of those bomber cannons. Instead, they're just going to get chewed up by these castles, and those bomber cannons continue to rain havoc onto the fortifications of Otter. Treb's starting to do some damage, but there is a good army in the back, but Otter down to only half the military. Still 30 away from pop capping. c3mbrich is pop capped, will reinforce shortly. Has all the resources c3mbrich needs to stay alive. This looked like it was going to be like a 5-minute game, and it has just turned into massively long. This might turn into a wood game, and this is going to be the longest wood game of all time. Holy smokes. There's so much wood on this map. I'm drinking some water. I mean, the problem with this one is that even if it's a wood game, there's just there's no room to, have slow engagement. You're always in the face of your opponent. There's no, distance between the bases. Did he have to mine out to get to this gold? Was this hidden in the pocket? Yeah, there's resources in these pockets. That's wild. But we see engagement. We see some push on this left side. This expansion trying to get these middle resources. This Treb gonna pressure this TC, and Aaronby here to clean it up. But the Aaronby getting chewed up by the halberdiers. Outer not paying attention, trying to fight in the middle at the same time. Loses all the Aaronby on the left side and loses TC. Now in the middle, we see all of these units from Otter going down, and c3mbrich once again in the driver's seat, having such a huge army. But that massive ball of elephants looking very scary. But Otter needs to find a good time to engage with it. Needs a way to deal with some siege. Needs some siege to back up. And there's some onagers. He needs some bomber cannons. He needs some trebs to push these buildings. But c3mbrich continues to push in the middle right. And Otter's thinking about trying to push on the top side. I don't know if pushing the top side is the right thing. I don't think there's a lot of eco here to push into. I mean, there is some, but yeah, and Otter's thought better about it. He's going to try to engage in the middle. That's a lot of elephants. One Otter's going to land a massive shot, or it doesn't even take out that much HP, I think, but these elephants are going to land on these, and there's not a lot of halberdiers to deal with this, and this good engagement from Otter, going to engage heavily on this. Doesn't have the siege to back him, needs a treb, only one treb, needs some bomber cannons, needs some more siege. Here come the hussars. He's going to push his military back from Cambridge, and this is going to swing once again in the other side. Here's a reinforcement halberdiers. And the hussars are going to try to get some villager picks, but he needs siege to take out these castles. These elephants are just getting chewed alive by these castles. If you had 3 or 4 trebs here, you take out these castles right away. But he's going to lose a lot of elephants retreating from this, and as great of a push that was, he's not going to get any long-term benefit from it. He may have wiped out some of the army from Cambridge, but this has just kept going. Alright, elephants continue to pressure here, and that's a lot of halberdiers. The elephants are just going to get run to their deaths. The elephants are running for nothing. They do take out the castle. That is very nice. But he's throwing away elephants, and you cannot afford to lose elephants. You need a massive ball of army to deal with these units. You need a lot of elephants. You can't just trickle treb them. And this treb going forward, just losing a free treb, does take out a lot of halberdiers with it. So, you know, not the worst. But Otter kind of clapping back and continuing to raid on the north side. So that is some good, finds some very good value. The micro from Cambridge has been on point, but this was a slight misstep. So loses a couple villagers there, continuing to raid, and the fight in the middle keeps going. And what started as the most like all-in game from Otter has rapidly devolved into a slow, steady grind. And it's going to be a continued question of like, how do you deal with these halberdiers? For a while, Otter was trying the Aaron buy, and now it's just castles. So, you know, throwing away halberdiers for free. But yeah, this is looking out to be a long game. And here's all the trebs. They're going to continue to push us to the north side. Otter really insisted on pushing on this north side. I mean, granted, there's a lot of gold on this north side. So I think Otter wants to try to establish control up there, whereas there might not be as many resources down here. But all of his production is down here. All of his farm space is down here. If he lets us go, he's going to lose all of his economy. And he doesn't have the resources banked up like Cambridge does to keep this fight going. And Cambridge really pushing well in the middle. And Otter's going to commit to the top side. And it's going to try to be a base trade once again. But I think Cambridge wins this base trade. I think Otter's not counting for how much farm eco he's going to have to rebuild. He can't afford to lose all that, whereas all the farm eco is spread out for Cambridge. Doesn't even have that much of a farm eco, just hasn't needed to use a lot of wood or food units, besides some halberdiers. So, and where did the elephants they're all getting engaged here, and Otter just taking some bad fights, being out of position, not committing to one side or the other, having to run back and forth. Massive shot from the siege onagers, and the onagers are caught out a little bit. That one hussar is going to take out a bunch of those siege onagers, and a lot of the siege is going down, but that's still a lot of bomber cannons left alive. And Otter, once again, fallen down on military. Cambridge pop capped out, and this is looking very, very, very tough for Otter. And if this castle goes up, I think that's going to be too much map control, but it's going to be a very tough position to establish. Still a lot of resources coming up. Trying to build another castle here. The castle does get destroyed, not just canceled, but destroyed. So, actually, I think it was destroyed. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh gosh. Oh no. Oh no. So many trebs down. Oh, that's all of Otter's trebs. Game paused. Game paused. This is crazy. Let's see what they were saying. I don't know if I can see the chat. What a crazy game. Holy crap. This is the game. Honestly, I want this map in the map pool. Copy paste this generation. Put it into the map pool for season 7. I love this map. It's a small arena. Picture up. Oh, they're about to start. I don't know if I have picture up on my, or page up. I don't have page up on my keyboard because it's 65%er. I think Otter had to pause for something, but they might be doing, okay, they're about to start. All right, and they're back at it. Loses all but one treb. That's a huge find for Cambridge. Huge find. Losing all those trebs is massive. And now we have a moment of peace. I mean, there's a massive raids going on. Otter continuing to do, if there's one thing Otter has done really well that Cambridge hasn't, is been non-stop raids. I haven't seen a single cav unit from Cambridge, which is fair. I don't think Ethiopians get good cav, but nothing to raid. And now all these hussars are going to wipe out this wood line of Cambridge. So, but I mean, again, Cambridge is posing the question in the middle, and we see more production buildings come forward. Cambridge very good about establishing his control of the middle, and it's just going to be very tough for Otter to contest this middle position with lower army count. He can get all the raids he wants, but all that's doing is making more pop space for Cambridge with the massive economy resource bank he has. And this castle goes up to protect this north side from being raided, kill these villagers, and now he's pushing in with all these units. And we get a little bit of lag, but we're good. And the castles might go down if there's no villagers to repair it. Villagers coming to repair it, but I think it's too little too late. And too much coming in. And that castle going down means this entire front side of Otter's base is exposed. Champion's going to come forward and try to deal with this, but these archers are going to just absolutely disintegrate them. And the bomber cannons continue to wreak havoc, and again, Otter just does not have an answer for the army in the middle. Continues to try to pressure on this right side, get some good raids, and Cambridge's economy kind of struggling. He's moved it up to the north, that castle now protecting 2 castles there, taking all these valuable resources that Otter was trying to take but never could. And the fight continues on in the middle, and Cambridge just really pushing in the middle. And this, we actually even see some Cavalier trying to tank some shots to be able to get in on these bombard cannons, with the Halberdiers here to help protect against this, and the archers. I don't think that's going to be good. We actually see a very heavy switch into Cavaliers from Otter, trying to catch them unaware, but with Halberdiers already out and Arbalests, I mean, Otter could kind of get some good engagements here, but I don't think he has an army composition. He doesn't have the resources, and Cambridge taking this engagement, I mean, this is a pretty good engagement. Otter's cleaning up this fight, forces the army back, takes out that Treb, loses a lot of these units. But he does slow that push, but there's still so many bombard cannons, and Cambridge is going to take this time to clean up this expansion, clean up this raid, and make it so the Hussar raids can't continue from Otter. Otter's still down to 18 military, just does not have the resources to pop out like Cambridge's. Cambridge has more than 1k of each resource in the bank. Hussar raids are going to be nice, but at this point, it is purely because Otter just does not have the economy back home to support a long, drawn-out fight, because he's just been taking terrible trades. I mean, you can see the eco KD. Otter has 100 less. Like, the KD is just so massively Cambridge favored. There's so many resources that he's not had to spend. And it's just been a lot of, like, Otter's been throwing gold units nonstop, pretty much. There's not been a lot of Hussar spam. As opposed to the Halberdiers of Cambridge. Otter's been taking terrible fights. Yeah, he's also been very indecisive. There's times where he was like, I'm going to commit to the top side, and then he went and like took out a castle, and then was like, I have to go commit to the middle, which, to be fair, he kind of had to. But he's just not really been able to get the damage you want. He's a slow-moving army, and when he tries a split fight, it just doesn't work, because he can't reposition that he needs to. So, Cambridge is going to be pressing forward. I mean, this is a pretty aggressive fight. If he lands a good shot on these Hussars, it's going to be a big deal, but, like, the army is kind of spread out for Cambridge. Otter's going to find some good snipes here. But again, so many resources in the bank for Cambridge. This is kind of not looking good for Otter. Still at 50 military. Otter has really never gotten past like 30 or 40 military. And Cambridge bringing those bomber cannons, needs to refuel his army to help protect these bomber cannons. But he's going to start continue to pressure, moving the castles forward on the left side. Villagers going forward to try to steal that gold resource. All 182 of it. Hey, it matters. Also, Otter not picking that out early was a huge mistake. And now this castle, like one of the remaining castles, all this farm eco is going to be exposed. This is likely going to spell the end for Otter. Otter's going to try to hang on. Has 113 villagers. Don't want to throw it in the tower quite yet. But you can just look at the resources. 2k stone. Hasn't used stone for castles. Hasn't built. Doesn't have a lot of military coming out. Is trying to pop out, but he's never really reached over 40. And Cambridge has a max pop out. He has 17 Halberdiers in the queue. Has so many resources, you can start queuing up a bunch of stuff, dropping more production buildings. Hussar's going to find a few, maybe a pick or two, but they're just going to get chewed up. And Cambridge continues to roll forward. And I do not think this game will go on for very much longer. And Otter calls GG's. What a game. What a game. That was a fantastic game 5. Very, very good game 5. That was insane. Yeah, I mean, I think the story of the game, though, is if we look at the statistics. Such a shit gen. You almost had it. 2 CCs, so you can't rush. I mean, we'll go over it, but it's the military. Yeah, Otter just never could hit that military number that he needed to, in my opinion. Like, you just see this for the longest time, for 30 minutes. Like, there was once Otter got up to 60, but he just never could actually mass up his units to get a good engagement. Yeah, and the raids were rough. Like you can just see how many resources c3mbrich had the entire time. Um, it was you had your chances and you just were taking some bad fights. But c3mbrich played amazingly once you realized the win condition. Because yeah, it was early on. It was very much a like it's crazy that this is how the map started. So like around here, it very much felt like it was a all in from you, which you kind of were doing. The problem is you just didn't have siege. If you had mixed in some like you built these siege workshops and then made nothing out of them. If you had thrown rams in there and just taken out all these production buildings before c3mbrich had a chance to like really establish his base in the north side, I think you could have won. I think you would have won on the spot. But you had it was very good match. This is probably the most fun game I've casted. But yeah, it was very much a c3mbrich had to hold on and go for the long game, and you just didn't get the damage you needed early on. Also, this gold was being taken forever. Like a third of his gold eco was tied up in here even after he abandoned the space. Because yeah, it's like you won this fight and there's just no siege. Finally get the trebs out. But yeah, hyper random for decisive game 5 is crazy. That's what I was saying. Is I was saying at the beginning of this match, in my opinion, I think it would be fun if you're gonna have hyper random. It is a mandatory game 1. So like it's the most balanced, like balanced unbalanced thing. Because you don't want game 5 to be hyper random. So, but also then you get great games like this. I want this map in the map pool. Maybe not 2 TCs, but I think the super close mini arena is such a fun time. It was just non-stop engagements. I love that game. I know you're not happy with the game, Otter, but that was a fantastic match to cast. That was a great set. This was a fantastic set. I think that's my first. It's fun, but so insanely shit for you on 3 levels. Yeah, yeah. It was very like so. I have my opinions on how Age of Empires does game starts and stuff. Compared to like StarCraft, for example, even like the 5-second countdown is a huge deal. And I think like as fun as hyper random is, it would be fun to see like the hyper random generation before picking your civ or something. Like, granted, that's part of the charm of it, but I do agree that it is a little bit dicey where you can just kind of get screwed from the get go. Oh, that was fun. That was a great match. Well played by both players. I don't think there was any there's a couple like 1 or 2 of the games were kind of one-sided, but like there was a lot of back and forth, a lot of fun. Like hyper random, you just hit all you off and get screwed by it. Yeah, and that's fair. Again, I think it's one of those things where it's like if you could see the hyper random gen before civ pick, it might be a little bit better. But because yeah, sometimes you just get some real rough ones here. I do think, and this might just be me being a scrub, I do think if you had mixed in some siege earlier here, I think you wipe this base out really fast. Even like after this, like you've won this fight, right? You've won this fight for the most part. I mean, there's still some there, but like all these houses and all this stuff doesn't get cleaned up. You add in 1 or 2 rams, and this all goes away, and then you have this expansion, and it's just like I think you had a chance here to actually do the all-in, and you just didn't commit enough siege to the push. I think you had a chance there. So, yeah, Joe, I'm happy to be back. The story of this was I was playing Destiny and streaming at day 1, and then I was too focused and I couldn't chat with people who said hi, and I was like, I'll stream someday, and then Brisbane's like, yeah, there's a DM tournament going on if you want to cast something. I was like, I kind of like casting. So, this has just been a fantastic match. I might take a